considered for a promotion. Other Democrats say a CEO would never ask their workers to do this.
The Musk email prompting another legal challenge from unions representing federal workers. Meantime, a federal judge in Maryland siding with unions in a separate lawsuit, issuing a temporary restraining order blocking the Department of Government Efficiency from accessing financial data related to student loans, though other judges have allowed DOJ access to some education records, possibly setting up a Supreme Court showdown. America is listening to Fox News.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or consumercellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Look out. It's Monday. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis, sidekick, producing Sports Recon Tour Extraordinaire. The mechanical mangler at the controls. It's Mr. Flounder on your Monday.
On the day I was born.
All right, look out now. Here we go. Big day. A lot of stuff to talk about. We got Doge stuff and job stuff and MSNBC stuff and media stuff. Holy crap. We've got, and by the way, we see what your weekend. Boys, just for the hell of it, Donald Trump is live right this minute with Macron from France at a news conference. Let's go, Flounder, let's go very briefly. If they're talking about all kind of international crap, we'll come back for here first. Let's just check and see what's going on.
We spoke about our desire to bring an end to
for God's sake, she can't speak English?
That is measurable, verifiable, and that enables negotiation of a lasting peace, where we will discuss not only Ukraine's reconstruction, its territories, but also the security guarantees, meaning maintaining peace over the long term. As I said to the president, we've experienced peace accords that were only
all right, that's fine. The peace accords, if once they cease, please stop. And by the way, it's as though these people are freaking killing me. And I don't know why I'm doing this right now, but, it's almost as if they say, okay, tell you what, okay, you stop your fighting, we'll stop our fighting, and pretend it's never happened. Yeah. What are the chances of that? Yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah, so somebody's going to have to give. Somebody's going to have to give, and it's going to have to be both of them of what they want, or I mean, and there's no sense to it. What's the point?
The Russians will keep what they have right now is what's going to happen.
Obviously, you're going to say, okay, let's stop where we are. Sorry this all started. We should have worked it out. You stay out of NATO, and we won't take any more land. I'm betting that's what's going to happen, that they agree. The Russians are, you mentioned this before, Pete. You're more of an international guy than I am. But Russia's surrounded, okay? There's no USSR or anything like that. The world's changed. Russia's surrounded, and they're nervous about NATO and nervous about all this kind of stuff. And the Europeans are a bunch of freaking cowards who rely on America for freaking everything ever since the great project to rebuild them after World War II. I mean, it's as simple as that. We're the kings, and so, they say, well, America will bail us out. We've been doing it for far too freaking long, and so this is where we are. And because of weak leadership, Russia invaded, and they're going to get away with it. They're going to keep their land, and Zelensky may decide, he says, I'll quit if we can join NATO or want free elections. Otherwise, they're not going to just pretend it never happened and go home. So, I mean, what are we talking? This is all everything they're saying right now is all crap. Either they're going to make a deal with what they got, or they won't. I mean, it's just crap. Okay, sorry. All right. Now, okay, I know everything's fine.
The Europeans are never going to invade Russia again. The Russians cannot possibly take over all of Europe, because if Europe bands together, they can beat the Russians. So it's a stalemate. So if we pull out of NATO, let them deal with it.
Yeah, I know. Again, I don't know. I mean, it's just silly. All right, we'll get to all this. So anyway, and by the way, we'll go back. They still got Macron at the podium too, and if they're going to be talking international stuff with translators, I don't, But the great part about it, I watched a bunch of CPAC over the weekend with Donald Trump. When he starts, I mean, he's a terrible speaker. Donald Trump is a horrible speech reader. His gesture, he does this thing with his hands where he says, well, it's like he's spreading bread, it's like a Mexican pizza, but it's little hands. I don't like that. I mean, he's just not a good speaker. He's like a Muppet. He doesn't have the command of the audience for the emphasis on the right syllable, but when he gets ad-libbing and telling his stories, it's freaking hysterical. I saw a little bit of it this weekend. Anyway, so we'll talk about that. We got the CPAC stuff. We got the MSNBC stuff. The media's crumbling. I mean, I'm so freaking glad about that. Also more in the Doge things. And again, the bottom line is this. My father told me, taught us of course, I'm a baby boomer, and he was a generation to save the world. And back then, in a beautiful, Norman Rockwell, America, where I grew up, I'm sorry, I can't apologize. That's the truth of the matters. My father taught us, and we had to have jobs all year, every year, since we were delivering papers when I was 9, in the snow, on my bike or whatever. And he told us, if you show up early and stay late and you work harder than anybody else, you're going to get ahead. And they're going to realize, boy, this guy's really got it. If you work harder than anybody else and take your stuff seriously because you're a Peterson. He said, it means something to this family. You're a Peterson. And so, it means something for what you do. You represent the family. And it worked. I mean, the last thing I ever want to do is embarrass my family. You know what I mean? And people said, boy, that's, and they would call out and say, boy, your son really is polite and he sure does work hard. Stuff like that. I mean, when you're 10, 11 years old, mowing lawns, for God's sakes.
That was great, but there was a lot of people that went and did exactly that and then watched the boss's cousin or son or friend get elevated before them. And then affirmative action came along and you saw someone less qualified than you because of a skin color get promoted over you. And that Norman Rockwell thing kind of went out the window at that point.
But here, okay, golly, I'm really kind of ashamed I brought it up.
I'm just saying that America changed for the worse.
Yeah, but the point I was going to make at the end of my story was this, and I think Musk, or either Musk or Trump, actually, I think said these words. But my bottom line was this, very simply too: if you show up for work and do your job, you can stay there forever. In federal civil service government, federal government work, I at least anymore. If you show up and do your job, you'll be there forever. Yeah. You're safe.
Yeah. Yeah. When I worked for the IRS, they begged me to stay at the IRS. They would pay for the college. They're going to pay for this. I don't want to work for the IRS my whole life.
You're a good worker. That's right. If you're a good worker, they notice it and they want to keep you around. So how is anybody complaining about the fact that you'll have a job forever in the federal government if you just show up and do it? I mean,
lazy.
Seriously, all you have to do is go to work and do your job. Oh, my God. No, I can't. No. You mean go to work and do my job? I'm outraged. Jesus. I mean, seriously, it's just freaking killing me. Okay, all right. I didn't even add. Boys, how you doing? Pete Davis, weekend? Any weekend fun things or what's going on or whatever?
I baked my first creamsicle cake and made my own homemade icing to put on top of it.
Wow. Now, that's impressive. You told me about this creamsicle cake, and it's what, Bisquick and orange soda or something?
No.
I forgot.
It's Duncan Hines white cake mix, and instead of eggs and oil and milk, you just pour a Fanta orange into it, an 8-ounce Fanta orange. You mix it up and you cook it up, and it tastes like a creamsicle.
Okay, so only two things?
Yeah, 2 things.
Now, what's the name of the cake mix? Which one is it?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines.
Any white cake?
Yeah.
Just a white cake. Go to the store for that box of the white cake mix and
yellow
orange
cake,
soda. And then you mix it together and cook it, and it doesn't boil or I can't.
No.
It cooks up 350 or what would
at 350 for 45 minutes.
What kind of a pan? It must be like one of those round cake pan things with a hole in the middle.
I have a round and a square 9-incher, so I have 2, and I just lay it. Now, here's the problem. And by the way, making the frosting's easy, too. It's powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, and some vanilla. Voila, you've made your own frosting. It tastes just as good as anything you buy in a store.
Yeah.
Okay, but I got greedy and I tried to break the cake out of the pan when it was still warm.
Oh, no, you can't do that, I don't think. It kind of
So it
squishy.
crumbled.
Yeah.
So I basically poured
there you go.
the frosting all over it, and it looks ugly, but it's tasty.
Yeah, cool. Well, by golly, I may just think about doing that.
It's real simple.
Yeah, because as you know, the Kimmer is something of a cooker. So that's good.
A cooker? Yeah. Not a looker, but a cooker.
Yeah, that's me, all right. Me in a freaking nutshell. Well, that's cool. And now Flounder and Mrs. Flounder, huh? Cool. Yeah, the full first week of the wedding action. How was your week? Didn't you have a brother's celebration or something, or a nephew?
We celebrated my brother's birthday on Saturday, and then celebrated Veronica's brother's birthday yesterday.
Wow. So it made
a lot of February birthdays in the family.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and by the way, it looks like it's a beautiful sunny day. It's going to be 60 or something. Now, not to say we're out of it, but this week looks like, as if you trust anything about the forecast, very mild, 60-ish. But again, we get snow in March. So don't.
Okay, the two worst ice storms of my life happened in 73 and 93.
Yeah, right.
In March.
Yeah. So, in fact, that one in 73 was the one where I went up in the helicopter with Jimmy Carter. And as the run reporter with Jimmy Carter and the civil defense director and head of the something or other to take a look at all the damage from the ice storm. And I remember saying, oh, my God, I'll never forget this. It was remarkable because from the air, it looked like one giant crystal chandelier. Everything was coated in ice. Cars, trees, mailboxes, home. I mean, it was as far. We just took off in the air. It was just a shining crystal chandelier as far as you could see. It was astounding. And the other funny thing was when we landed, I got off first and going, "Thank you, good to be here," because all the TV cameras were on. That's back when I had some actual reputation as a serious newsman. You can imagine, I did stuff with Jimmy Carter. I'm the only guy, the only radio and TV reporter assigned to him that he would have. Anyway, so that's a long time. That was 50 freaking years ago, my friend. 52 years ago, dear God. That was 52 years ago,
52
Pete.
years ago. We lived in the living room for a week in the fireplace with the living room. For a week.
Holy cow.
Of that.
Yeah, holy cow. Oh, my God. This is amazing. Anyway, 314. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We got a million things going on. It's Monday. Join us. I'd love to talk to you. And, what the heck? It's we got a game. We got Pete's tweets. We got Flounder's funnies. And your calls and everything else on Monday. Look out. Here we go now.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
This Jasmine Crockett from Texas is trying to clarify to the American people why Doge is illegal, and Elon Musk has no official role to do this. Even though she said he's an unelected billionaire.
You know who else was unelected?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris as
Exactly.
the Democratic nominee for president.
Yeah.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
The Atlanta Braves giveaways for this season are here, and you don't want to miss this lineup. Bobbleheads feature Chris Sale and Marcell Ozuna, presented by Delta, and a throwback bobblehead featuring Chipper Jones from the 2000 All-Star Game, presented by SeatGeek. Fans can also look forward to collectibles like the 1995 World Series replica ring and red home jersey giveaways presented by Coke, and a replica of Truist Park, perfect for your office. Visit Braves.com/promos to purchase your tickets today.
Atlanta Braves fans, May is Military Appreciation Month, and a great time to show your patriotism by purchasing a VIP table at the Warrior Alliance 4th Annual Veteran Impact Awards and Gala. The event will be held on Thursday, May 22nd at the Coca-Cola Roxy Theater at the Battery, Atlanta, and features dining, live entertainment, and Georgia-based veterans being honored for the significant contributions they are making in our communities. Purchase your VIP table today or make a donation at thewarrioralliance.org.
I got this thing there. I'm trying. I have to do everything on my stupid phone because I don't have a way to get a thing with the thing here. If I had a little printer, if I could go cling click and have a printer with it, give my story, it'd be perfect. Let's see if we
There's a printer out in the bullpen, and you can use the computer right in front of you and do it that way.
Actually, that would never happen because I wouldn't be able to do it while I'm, doing this talking and things like that. It's just the way the thing goes. So Pete sent the message. So I'm taking pictures on my phone, and I will be able to read it to you shortly.
You want a drink with that?
I already got one on the side there. In fact, Flounder, are you holding anything on the truck or anything? Or I don't know. All right, 404-74, I don't even know what that means. 741-1230, 741-1230. How's it going? It's Monday. We got stories. We got stuff. A billion things. Oh, by the way, and again, thank you. Flounder just showed me how to post photographs on my YouTube. Cover Show YouTube post thing app, which I didn't know before. So I'm now at the level of any 9-year-old who got their first cell phone. So anyway, so thank you, Flounder. And that's God. I'm pathetic. I'm just pathetic. And again, I was looking at I've had Facebook friend requests going back 2 years. 2 years. All right, no. I'm not good. All right, 318. Give her Pete and Flounder. Here we go. Roberta Flack died. Roberta Flack died, 88 years old, killing me softly. The first time ever I saw your face. And killing me softly. Wasn't that about Don McLean? I think she saw Don McLean, who's singing American Pie or something in concert. And he was one, the lone guy with a guitar on the stool, I guess, kind of guy. And I believe that's a true story. That she was referring to him when she saw him singing. She thought, "Oh my God, he just over-wafted me with his beautiful song."
Huh. If only you had looked that up before the show
I didn't.
to see if it was actually true.
She died. I didn't have a chance. That was when I got in. You're right. Okay, so somebody will look it up. Somebody on the Kimmer Mafia, Kimmer Babes or somebody. Roberta Flack. Who did she name? After whom did she name the thing "Killing Me Softly" with the song? And I'll bet it was Don McLean. So there you go. And Roberta Flack was 88. So, and they said cause of death was not listed. She's 88. She also had a cardiac arrest and died on the way to the hospital. So isn't that, pretty much that she died at 88 of heart? Anyway, so she had, and this is kind of cool. Roberta Flack became an overnight star after Clint Eastwood used her song, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, as the soundtrack for the memorable and weird explicit love scenes between him and Donna Mills, a little hot blonde girl, in the 1971 film Play Misty for Me. And Roberta Flack had the title of the score of that song, and it made her an overnight sensation. In 72, she was winning Grammys, Killing Me Softly with the song. I Feel Like Making Love, Where Is the Love, The Closer I Get to You. Did stuff with Peabo Bryson and stuff like that. Anyway, Roberta Flack passed away at the age of 88. And so there you go. And by the way, I went to 320. Also, but we did kind of yelling at newsy stuff. And another Delta update. Oh, have you seen the memes? We got all this coming up here. But also, Flounder, I was thinking of you when I saw this story over the weekend, and so I asked Flounder to print it up for me for today, even though it's a couple days old. The Guinness Book of World Records now has 2 centenarians breaking the record for the longest marriage of a living couple. Manuel Angelim Dino is 105. His spouse, Maria de Sousa, is 101. They met in 1936. Picking sweets in Brazil. They were split up. They didn't know it. They just met each other, but then they kind of became friends. And 4 years later, in 1940, and he said he fell in love at first sight. They have been married and still alive 105, 101, married for 84 years and 85 days. They grew tobacco to support their 13 children in Brazil. They have 55 grandchildren, 54 great-grandchildren, and 12 great-great-grandchildren. The secret to their long marriage of 84 years? Love. Something even the most advanced computer could never calculate, unquote. The longest ever marriage was to a couple in the year 1789, David Hiller and Sarah Davy Hiller. They were born. She was born in 1792. They tied the knot in Canada in 1809, and they were married for almost 89 years. 4 days short of 89 years. Until she passed away. Secret to the long marriage. My mom and dad married 65 years. And I'll do a little story, one quick little story again. If I know everybody's heard all these stories, and Pete's going to mark it down on the calendar. Every Sunday morning, for as long as I can remember as a child growing up, an adult, even visiting when I was out of town, Dapadoom, every single Sunday morning, my mother would come downstairs and go into the kitchen, and my father would have already had her coffee ready and a present at her place at the table. A gift. So on every Sunday morning, some kind of a token. It might be a new paperback book. It might be a new pen. It could be, a box of, I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. Some kind of a gift. Every Sunday morning for as long as I have ever known them. He took care of her, and he was he had 10,000 people working for him. He was a tough boss type guy. He took care of her, forever. And when she passed away, he was gone a couple of weeks later, just, 89 years old. 60. He took just the sweetest thing. Wishes and wishes. All right, 323. Here we go. Let's go. Oh, another plane thing. Oh, and then we'll talk about the memes. Holy cow. Delta passengers, Atlanta airport, forced to evacuate today. They were headed to Columbia from South Carolina. Boeing 717-200 overwhelmed the cabin with smoke after they had taken off. 94 passengers, 2 pilots, 3 flight attendants. They had to come back, return to Atlanta, and had to use the exit slides on the side of the plane. Let's see. They used their clothing to cover their faces as clouds of smoke filled the cabin. And we don't know exactly what happened. And so everybody's okay, obviously. And Pete Davis, tell the little people what you had on your mind when this first thing kind of became public here a little earlier today. It's become a little strange. You think all these incidents happening. You think maybe there's some people out there, some diehard demon rats that are just causing trouble to make the Trump administration look bad for trying to cut back on federal waste. I mean, they're not hurting airline safety with what they're doing. Yeah. But they're trying to cut waste, and I think there's some people out there who just want to cause trouble. I hope. The problem is. Put anything past them? No, that's the problem. I hate even thinking about it because it's very likely. I'll bet the chances that someone is deliberately, they might have put a smoke bomb in the overhead cabin. It may not have been any big deal, but it caused a problem. I'll bet there was no bomb. I'll bet there was no explosive. I'll bet there was something simple, but it might have been somebody who had the opportunity to hit a wire or do a little something just to cause a problem. I don't know. I'm totally guessing. I'm just saying the problem is this day and age with the Democrats, the hate-filled Democrats, trying to do everything they can to destroy the Donald Trump presidency. Every single day they're after him to make him unsuccessful. And the problem is, I'll bet you there's a 70-30 chance that somebody did something on purpose. What a shame. I even have to say that out loud. I'm ashamed to even think about that as an American in this day and age that's even a possibility, let alone I think it's more than 50-50. I hate saying that. And by the way, another thing about airplanes, this is kind of funny. And again, I don't think this was because it was in the news, but on my phone a few minutes ago, this popped up. Did you know the Helsinki-Toronto flight carrying 400 passengers the other day had 200 meals on board because of an error? So a clever flight attendant did this. Again, this just popped up on the plane. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure how this happened. We only have 200 lunches and 400 passengers. If anyone's willing to forego their meal for another passenger, they will receive unlimited complimentary wine for the duration of the flight. 6 hours later, she made the following announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone's changed their mind, we still have 200 meals available. Which is pretty funny. And by the way, this isn't funny at all. Did you see, actually, it is funnier than hell. Did you see the memes about Delta girl pilots, the female, oh my God. Delta Airlines, congratulations, the first female pilot to land an airliner upside down. And then when they showed the picture of the cabin crew upside down, I mean, oh my God. And, because I remember Friday, I said, as soon as I read that press release, I said, the girl was flying the plane. They were afraid to say it because it looked bad. And sure enough, boom, pow, we found out two of my pilot buddies called and said, yeah, she was flying him. And that shouldn't be a thing, but of course they were afraid because they're woke anyway. But those memes were freaking brutal. 327, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. We have Pete's tweets, we have memes, we have a game. Excuse me. And we have Elon Musk. Holy cow. And here we go, by the way. Elon is explaining about demanding federal workers justify their job. Again, I was screaming earlier at the beginning of the show, if you're a federal worker, if you just go to work and do your job, you'll be there forever. Now, they've been getting rid of jobs that don't exist, or, probationary employees that, they're still kind of being assigned stuff. You don't really work there yet. It's not really an official thing. But basically, really, seriously, if you go to work and do your job, you're fine. So I mean, and everybody's
with
going...
a modicum of absolute, I don't know, just doing your job. Just getting
a
along.
Yeah, just so you're just getting it done. I mean, you're just, doing the thing. God.
You're reliable.
Yeah, exactly. You care enough to, it's like Office Space. You care enough not to get fired. At least do enough so that you keep working. I mean, the minimum anyway. And again, more X's, little X. They call them little X's, kids, little X. Exactly what is it you do around here? I love all those memes. They have now. And by the way, Elon Musk this morning doubled down, saying if you don't send a list of your achievements by 8:59 p.m., which is midnight tonight, you'll be furthering your career elsewhere. They fired 20,000 federal government workers already, frozen billions in aid. Now, they continue making cuts. Department of Defense, Homeland Security, Education, Commerce, and Energy have told their people ignore the message. And again, for example, Pam Bondi said very clearly, if you're, remember the FBI and CIA and stuff like that, we don't want you writing down what you've done for the week. We have ways of knowing whether you're doing your job or not. So clearly, you don't have to fill out a thing of what you've done at work. And they're simply, Elon Musk said, it's really the email, it was just demanding a simple, very basic pulse check. And Donald Trump, by the way, had some fun with this, too. He posted on X, he said, they assumed that those who don't reply are resigning. So Donald Trump posted out a meme that showed the popular Nickelodeon character with a pad of paper and pencil as he appeared deep in thought, while a second pad held by SpongeBob's buddy Patrick Star shows an edited list called Got Done Last Week. The fake list of Got Done Last Week included cried about Trump, cried about Elon, and made it to the office for once. The list rounds out with read some emails and cried about Trump and Elon some more. And then in a separate post last night called the questions posed to the federal workforce a very basic pulse check. We believe the employees have no obligation to respond, according to the national president of the unions for these people. And they're calling it, I'll change the wording, a girl senator from Minnesota, so I called the email the ultimate dork boss move from Musk. Prove to me your worthiness by Monday or else I'm on the side of the workers, not a billionaire a-hole bosses. Anyway, on and on and on they go. And incidentally, this just came down today. Well, actually, we'll take a break here. Coming back, now they're even calling it the Holocaust. These people can't be stopped. I mean, well, you'll hear it coming up. And CPAC and Donald Trump and the MSNBC stuff, the cable media people are exploding because America says we're done with you. 3:30. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Braves dropped yesterday's game in Northport to Tampa Bay 4-2. Not the start Ian Anderson wanted, walking 3, giving up 1 hit and 1 earned run in 1 2/3 innings. He took the loss. Bravos at the Orioles today canceled because of the weather. Christopher Bell edged out Carson Hocevar and Kyle Larson in overtime Sunday in another close NASCAR Cup Series finish at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bell led only the final lap in his Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. The Hawks lose at home to the Pistons 148-143 yesterday. Trae Young had 38 points and 13 assists. They host the Heat tonight. Pete Davis, Extra 106.3 Sports.
For more local sports, head over to The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. And for the latest political news and talk, stick with Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
When you buy a Subaru from Subaru of Gwinnett, you're buying more than a vehicle. You're buying safety for your family, an investment that will hold its value, and something that will last a long time. You're buying trust. For a limited time, celebrate all the 2025 models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through March 31st. Whether you're looking to match your adventurous spirit with the 2025 Subaru Outback or lean on the reliability of the 2025 Subaru Forester, Subaru of Gwinnett has the perfect fit for your family. You'll love exploring in the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek, and the 2025 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Subaru of Gwinnett has been your hometown dealership for years, and we're proud to be here to help your family find a Subaru to love for years to come. And our award-winning service department is here to ensure you've always got someone to lean on and trust when you need us. Stop in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth and meet our incredible staff, or start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Donald Trump just ended the news conference just a minute ago with Macron from France. And so we'll bring you anything might have happened by that. We're talking mostly international stuff, I think. But, by the way, that Martha's got that kind of disheveled, long, curly blonde hair look about it. Hey, Martha Vandella, whatever her name is. Martha McCallum. Sorry. Here we go. I'm sorry. Wait, is this Ramones? Here we go. Yeah. No, it's not the Ramones. This would be Santana.
I apologize.
No, I was going to say that doesn't sound like the Ramones. Even I.
You should always apologize when you play Carlos Santana.
I'm so sorry.
Well, we should have hit the Ramones on the first break.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's my fault. I went right to Trump. I screwed up your musical thing there, Pounder. So it's my bad. We'll get him. We can do him later, right? Or is he gone forever now? When I go out of order, is it over? Okay. Well, right now we're doing Carlos. Here we go. It's 3:35. Timber, Pete, and Flounder. And on this day in 2000, Carlos Santana won 8 awards at the Grammys for the album Supernatural. Before that, he had not had a top 10 in 20 years. Supernatural was a huge commercial success, #1 in 11 countries. Was America #1 for 12 weeks. First to 6 singles, Smooth, featuring Matchbox 20 singer Rob Thomas, was a #1 worldwide success, top Billboard chart for 12 weeks. Sting in 2000 won 2 awards, Best Pop Album, another Best Male Pop Vocalist. Sir Elton John won the Legend Award. Phil Collins, Best Soundtrack for Tarzan. This is in 2000 at the Grammys. And by the way, the stupid, what was the TV show awards of the Screen Actors Guild, SGA, was that a Screen Actors, SGG, whatever, Screen Actors, SAG, was on, and I saw the kind of a thing, and I forgot because you had to get the fingernail app to watch it apparently or something on your phone. So we'll talk about that later. Not anybody cares apparently. I thought that was going to be, the whole showbiz thing is really a shame. Hate to see what's going on in this country. And by the way, I came to a philosophical conclusion too about me as an example of anthropology in the real concerning the other day when I was giving out my cookies to the girls here at the office. And I'll get to that. Kim Pete and Flounder, 404-741-1230, 1230. Our birthday list includes Barry Bostwick. 80 years old. Barry Bostwick was in Rocky Horror Picture Show and also the TV show Spin City. Barry Bostwick was a Broadway actor in theater and all kinds. Barry Bostwick, 80 years old today. By the way, I lament Flounder, I do my own birthday and history list stuff, and Flounder has one too that he's been relying on, that I've been relying on through Flounder from the beginning. And now the damn people have changed their passbook word or some crap and we can't get to it, so I'm just relying on the ones that I get, which is not anywhere near as much fun as the ones I get to use Flounders too, so I apologize for that. However, I do have my own history list. Thank goodness I do this every night before and so and so. And today's history, hold on, Froggy. Here we go. Here we go. This will take just a second now, because this was an important day. In 1836, on this day, San Antonio, Texas, Colonel William Travis issues a call for help on behalf of the Texan troops defending the Alamo, the old Spanish mission and fortress under siege by the Mexican army. Travis moved to the Mexican state of Texas in 1831, became the leader of the growing movement for independence. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Revolutionary Army. Santa Ana had 5,000 heavily armed troops, outnumbering only a few hundred Texans. Travis and the men said, "We're not giving up." On this day, they answered Santa Ana's call for surrender with a bold shot from the Alamo's cannon. Furious, the Mexican general on this day ordered his forces to launch a siege. Travis immediately recognized his disadvantage and sent out several messages by courier asking for reinforcements. Addressing one of the pleas to the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, Travis signed off with the now famous phrase, "Victory or death." 32 men from a nearby town of Gonzales responded. Mexican forces stormed the Alamo a few days later through a gap in the wall, killing Travis, Bowie, Davy Crockett, and 190 of their men, the Bowie. Texan, David Bowie, Jim Bowie, the knife guy. Texan troops, man, see, I got the singer. I know, we can't say Bowie, for God's sakes. I wasn't even close to that one. By the way, they did kill 600 of Santa Ana's men, and it was a Texas Revolution symbol. Later, the Battle of San Jacinto in 910, Texas Commander Sam Houston defeated Santa Ana's army of 1,200 men, spurred by the cries of "Remember the Alamo." The next day, Santa Ana himself was captured, and the general issued orders for all Mexican troops to pull back behind the Rio Grande River. And on May 14th, 1836, Texas officially became an independent republic and joined the Union in 1836, and it started on this day in February 24th. Yes, sir.
And by the way, all those people are saying that America stole the entire Southwest and it was all stolen land.
Please.
It's not stolen land. It's called conquered land.
Yeah.
We won it.
Yeah. And who else stole it? I mean, who do you think was there first? Cavemen? So who took over from the cavemen?
Stole it.
Yeah, please.
The Spanish stole it from the indigenous tribes.
Yeah, that's how we got horses in America, was from the Spanish people. I mean, the whole world came over and did stuff. I mean, my God, man. Well, there's been only like one. You think there's been one landowner since the beginning, since the Big Bang? I've owned that for around 6 billion years. Jesus. I mean, seriously, come on. Oh, you conquered. Yeah, well, conquer this. Dipwad. God. 3:40. 3 o'clock hour is a sponsor. I'm not fired up today. I don't know what it is.
You're wired. That's for some.
And I know, well, you know what it is? I'm ticked off. Well, first of all, our 3 o'clock hour sponsored by First Liberty Building and Loan. We say yes when the big banks say no, silly rabbit, at firstlibertyga.com. There you go. It was a beautiful afternoon, and I had to. I've got 2 projects at my house that I run my townhouse, and one of them, a flounder fixed me up with this guy, and I'm going to get that taken care of. Yeah, well, no. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a whole new lock system, and I took my master key, and the guy could rekeyed it for me. Though I mean, I spent part of my time at Home Depot taking house-like projects. So I figured, well, geez, I'm going to go try to hit some balls this afternoon because I haven't hit balls in a long time, and I'm playing golf with my grandson in like April 1st or 2nd or whatever. So I want to start hitting ball, make sure, okay. So I go to the driving range, it's mobbed. Absolutely mobbed. And so I said, well, screw that. And then I putt for a while. They have a putting green. I putt for a while. And thank God I can still putt. I was very impressed that I can still putt pretty well. When I was retired, I got my short game down really well. That's why I was shooting 75 every time I played. But I haven't played in so long. So anyway, so then I got ticked off. I couldn't hit balls. So I was ticked off. So then I went home and I put together my taxes information. And then I swept floors for the first time in God knows how long, as I'm slowly, bit by bit, since I didn't get to play and have fun with anything, I did like errands and chores, and I feel better about it because it's one more heavy thing. I tend to get things get heavy on me. If I don't, I'm a terrible procrastinator, and when I finally say even I can't take it anymore, it's like a gift. Okay, anyway, so that was a fun part, and there we go.
We all feel closer to you after that anecdote. A little look inside the world.
I know. Anyway, so it's all good. Let's see, 342, Kim Repeat and Flounder. Oh, God. Donald Trump reacting to the MSNBC thing here in just a second. First of all, a quick update thing. The Elon Musk says, list your accomplishments, and now the head of the union workers and public officials from Illinois, Democratic Representative Sean Casten, are now posting things with a meme or a symbol GFY, which means go kiss my foot, I think, if you spell it out properly. Anyway, they're saying it takes a remarkable combination of arrogance and stupidity to think this is the best use of time for our intelligence officers and so forth. It's an ultimate dork boss move from Musk, except he isn't the boss. He's just a dork, only I changed the words there, telling people what they should do last week. In fact, these freaking Democrats, they cannot help themselves. Hold on, I got to get my Mr. Phone here because I just put this in here recently. The Doge thing. Here we go. A Virginia Democrat is now comparing the Doge job cuts to the Holocaust.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Joshua Cole, a state delegate from Fredericksburg, Virginia, was quoting the reformed German clergyman once identified with the Nazi Party during a hearing last week. They said that this guy should apologize to every Holocaust survivor, citizen, family, and everybody in Virginia, talking about government jobs elimination as an extermination of the Jews, comparing that loss is just slaughtered by the regime. This guy said, reminds me of a quote from a long time ago that said, at first they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't Jewish. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I wouldn't speak out. When they came for me, there was nobody to speak up because everybody had taken a rough translation of the Reverend Martin Niemöller, the minister, Nazi Party guy. Anyway, in the hearing, he said he recalled a similar emergency committee being impaneled to take on with the Corona China kill virus. The difference then, we had extra money coming in. We're not going to have extra money coming in. We're going to be losing money over this situation, and the federal income is going to impact our communities too. I mean, these people can't stop the Holocaust by cutting waste. God.
All they're asking you to do is what all the rest of us have to deal with. That if the boss emails you or calls you, you better call him back. If he tells you, I want to know what you did this week, you better tell him what you did and be able to prove it. Why are they so damn special? And I was a federal worker. Why do they feel so damn special?
Yeah. Well, the recent reason is COVID. The liberals jumped on the teachers' unions and the liberals. Everybody said, "Oh, stay home, we'll pay you to stay home." and here's what you get. Socialism.
Laziness.
Guaranteed a job without having to do anything. And that's also the time when they stopped making the arrangement where if you wanted to get unemployment benefits, you had to go look for a job and prove you looked for a job and have people sign that you looked for a job at their employment office.
Right.
If you didn't have those 2 or 3 names a week, you didn't get your money. Well, they stopped doing that. All you had to do was fill out the form and you got your money. Oh, I didn't get any. Pete didn't get any. Flounder didn't get any. Yeah. Anyway.
Because we worked. We tried to actually keep working.
Well, sure. I'm the owner of my own failed company.
You were.
Yeah. Well, the 3 of us. We made what, 12 grand? No, like it was $4 grand in 3 years. I don't remember. So we almost made $800 a piece or something. Luckily, I'm not going to have to fill out taxes for that this year.
I'm the one dealing with that. Thank you very much.
It was funny. Me and Veronica were cleaning stuff out in the garage and basement this weekend, and I found some Kimmer Media greeting cards that I was able to throw away.
I've got 500 of them. I swear to God, with envelopes. No, they're the Kimmer Show podcast thank you notes. They're thank you cards.
I never saw those.
Oh, believe me, I got a box of them.
You're going to have to tell how you bailed on me the first time we went to get the taxes done at H&R.
Oh, you're damn right I bailed on you. I got this thing over there with the thing. I wish I'd be going with you. 347, Kimmer Feed and Flounder. Look out.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is XTRA 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at XTRA 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will make a vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about our beloved pets and their nutrition? Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Flack here, and I'm on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because truthfully, all pet food is dead food, which is why we created Rough Greens and Meow Greens in the first place. We bring their food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. All in a tasty formula that your dog and cat will love. You can improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, and have less vet bills. Let 2025 bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20. Get a 100% discount with promo code RESOLUTION. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code RESOLUTION. Bring your pet's food back to life with Rough Greens. So good, your pet will ask for it by name.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on XTRA 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Are you the type of consumer that likes to do your research before you choose a company? Well, then you need to join Dan Watkins, Chris Lolamy, and myself, Jim Niarchos, every Saturday morning at 9 for the All Four Seasons Home Show. We only vet local businesses with a proven history of integrity, competence, and solid customer service. The All Four Seasons Home Show helps you make a good consumer decision, save money, and not get ripped off. You can also follow our podcasts on Apple, Google, and Spotify. The All Four Seasons Home Show, Saturday mornings at 9, right here on XTRA 106.
murder thing. Ramon Killer Girl, 2010. Holy cow. By the way, I got a musical update here for you. I'll do that for my history thing today. Our birthday list. In fact, I should have asked Flounder to play this. Man, talk about a change in time. And I've talked about this before. In the 60s, there was a segment of rock and roll where they had songs like Dead Man's Curve, and they had Tell Laura I Love Her, and She Ran Back to the Car to Get My Ring, and all these, there was a phrase for it. I forgot what it was called. Teenage Crash Pop or something like that. It was very, very popular. The other thing was to show how music has changed and how society has changed and how culture has changed to match it. Our birthday list today includes a woman named Joni Summers, 84 years old. Joni Summers had one of my favorite songs of all time because I've joked about myself before that I was always kind of the big brother type for the girls in our prep school group and stuff like that when I was, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. I was just kind of the protector big brother type. Joni Summers is 84 today. She had a hit song called Johnny Get Angry. And the words to that song are something like, Johnny get angry, Johnny get mad, give me the biggest lecture I've ever had. I want a brave man, I want a caveman. Johnny, show me that you really care for me. She was dancing with another guy. Johnny won't cut in. He lets him cut on me. It was unbelievable, begging her boyfriend to stand up and hit that other guy in the face and say, you're mine, baby. That's unbelievable. These were hit songs. Johnny Angel, Shelley Fabre. Anyway, so I just thought that was kind of amusing. And Joni Summers is 84 years old. Johnny get angry. And begging for the guy to show he's a man. And now, God, so much is different. In fact, I was going to tell a story about Bella, which maybe I'll do if I get a chance to. Another generational story, which happened just on Friday when I brought her cookies. And maybe if I remember, I'll do it. And now the Roberta Flack song. Remember I mentioned, I said if my impression is that Roberta Flack did this song, Killing Me Softly with His Face, because of Don McLean. Well, I was half right. I was actually right without being right. Roberta Flack's song, Killing Me Softly with His Song, was inspired by Don McLean. However, the song was written by Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel. Lori Lieberman was inspired to write the lyrics after seeing Don McLean perform in 1971. The girl Lori Lieberman was so moved by McLean's performance that she began writing lyrics on a napkin during the show. She released her version of the song in 1972. It didn't go anywhere. In 1973, Roberta Flack's version of the song became a #1 hit in America, Australia, Canada, all over the place. In 1996, Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, I guess it is, covered the song, a #1 hit in many other countries. Woman feels moved and exposed by a singer's performance. So she wrote it, and it was Roberta Flack who sang it, but she didn't write it because Roberta Flack didn't write it because of Don McLean, but the song was written because of Don McLean. Anyway, 3:54. There you go. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being goofy, and that's kind of a thing, and I got it.
Now you know.
The rest. I miss Paul Harvey's rest of the stories. God, I never missed him. 8:32 or something in the morning on whatever station. I never missed him.
Maybe we should do some. We should find some obscure, ridiculous thing and tell people.
The rest. Well, I do it with my history thing all the time. I've been trying to get the unusual ones. In fact, by the way, and you're going to kill me for this, but you're going to have to accept it. That sometime this afternoon, I'm going to be doing an anniversary thing concerning the Tet Offensive, and it's
what.
Why? Because it's so you're just going to have to put up with it. And it reminded me, in fact, I just did a little thing. Don Dornberg's birthday was the other day.
Yes, it was over the weekend.
Over the weekend, and I'll tell you a quick Don Dornberg story. We're going to do later on with the whole Tet Offensive. Don Dornberg was in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive of 1968. He was a dog handler.
Explain who Don is.
Don Dornberg was he was a news guy with us over across the street 20 years ago or 30. Back in the 90s and so forth. They've been around here forever. Great guy, very serious. A serious, stable, nice, friendly, happy guy. No one ever said a bad word about Don Dornberg. Just a nice guy. He was a dog handler in Vietnam, and he had a birthday over the weekend. And Don, whenever I would see Don Dornberg, he would joke to me, when you're in Vietnam, 99% of all the guys in Vietnam were not living in the jungle or living in swamps for 13 months. Okay, there were billets and little town areas and hotels and places we took over, stuff like that. And as part of the local community, local women would be hired as maids and cleaning up place, stuff like that. So there were civilians around any encampment where there were military people. And when Don Dornberg said that there was one woman, a little old lady cleaner, where she would take her broom and clean the streets or something, and every time she saw him, she would say, "VC Cockadoo Dornberg." Cockadoo means kill. And so on his birthday message, I put VC Cockadoo Dornberg, because that's how we expressed our hello to each other. Anyway, so that, I've just got distracted there for the whole thing with Don Dornberg. So that's coming. We'll talk about that. But again, it's just, it was a thing, and it's almost over, but when it's a thing. 1968 was a very weird year, and I can't help it, but it was the most different weird year of my life. Anyway, okay. Donald Trump, MSNBC, he says, should pay. Donald Trump says MSNBC should pay for the unpardonable sin done to America while he's celebrating axing of the obnoxious racist Joy Reid. Donald Trump late last night went to Truth Social and said DNC, MS Democrat National Committee, because it's nothing more than an illegal arm of the Democratic Party while celebrating the end of Reid's show. And here's what he says. Low-life chairman of Comcast, Brian Roberts, the owner of Ratings Challenge NBC and MSDNC, has finally gotten the nerve up to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid, Trump wrote. Based on her ratings, which were virtually non-existent, she should have been canned long ago, along with everybody else who works there. He said he's raging against the damage done to their country. Flounder, let's do we'll break here because we're going to play a lot more of this and by the way, even more network people are being fired and stuff. Can we do a Flounders Funny here? First of all, do that here, and then we'll come back after the news break and with more on Donald Trump reacting to what's going on in the media. A little Flounders Funny.
Did you guys know this? Pablo Picasso, you know when he died? He died in 1973. Did you know that? I thought he died in 1380. I almost 1973. Picasso had a car. Is that unbelievable? Pablo Picasso was driving around Spain in like a Honda Civic listening to Black Sabbath on the radio. Ozzy Osbourne and Pablo Picasso were working at the same time.
Ozzy Osbourne.
He saw 6 Super Bowls.
Pablo Picasso.
I thought he lived next to a blacksmith. The guy's like at home watching the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs on a colored television set, drinking Mountain Dew. And some of you might be like, Mountain Dew, that wasn't out in 1970. It was. Do you know when it came out? I thought like maybe 1975, 76. 1940, Mountain Dew came out. Hitler was jacked up on Mountain Dew. He was like in a bunker, like, do the do! Or what? I can't do impressions, but.
Who's that?
Mr. Joe List right there.
Joe, that's a funny bit. That's a funny bit. 3:59, Kim Repeat and Flounder. Coming up 4 o'clock news, the latest on stuff. Donald Trump and the Frenchman held a news conference. He'll be talking about that here shortly. Also, Donald Trump says to the governors, we want paper ballots and one-day voting. How about that? Duh. And it's never going to happen. But, I mean, here you go, making demands that make sense. Common sense. It's not left or right politics. It's just common sense.
Germany just counted 84 million votes on paper in a few hours.
Yeah. Arizona's still counting the votes from their last election.
California, too.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, Donald Trump. Fake news is an unpardonable sin. He says MSNBC ought to pay for it. And coming up more on the cancellations and the reactions, and Joy Reid is crying. It's all coming up. Kim Pete and Flounder, almost 4 o'clock already. Holy cow. Pete's tweet. We'll do Pete's tweets coming up here in this next segment here, too, and so much more. Look at it. There we go.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the XTRA app.
A fourth year of war begins in Ukraine. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. But President Trump says it could end in weeks, just holding a joint news conference with French President Emmanuel Macron.
We want to save lives. We want to bring prisoners back and bring back families and children, because there's also a humanitarian tragedy affecting the Ukrainian people.
Macron says security guarantees are needed for Ukraine, but that President Trump had good reason to re-engage with Russia's President Putin. President Trump says he's close to securing an economic deal with Ukraine. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could travel to Washington as soon as next week, President Trump says, to sign a partnership with the U.S. for Ukraine's rare earth minerals.
Where we get our money back over a period of time. But it also gives us something where I think is very beneficial to their economy, to them as a country.
Sitting next to French President Emmanuel Macron, President Trump also says Ukraine's security can be backed with European peacekeepers, a proposal he says Russian President Vladimir Putin would accept.
Well, President Putin says he has not discussed resolving the Ukraine conflict in detail with President Trump. In remarks broadcast on state TV, also saying Russian and American negotiating teams did not discuss details when they met last week in Saudi Arabia. President Trump says he blames U.S. leadership for letting other countries take advantage of the U.S.
Every aspect that you could imagine they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night, and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes, and we're going to make up a lot of territory.
Doubling down on his plan for reciprocal tariffs, while also suggesting delayed tariffs on Canada and Mexico will go forward, despite their leaders' efforts to ramp up border security. A mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow up 33 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
It is time to take the quiz.
5 days a week, it's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We ask people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
What are the 2 active volcanoes on mainland Europe called?
Is Vesuvio one of them?
Vesuvius and Etna.
How'd you do? Exactly. These get tougher, so hang on.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox. Then come back here to see how you did. Thank you for taking the quiz.
As President Donald Trump begins his second term.
Promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises.
Stick with the Fox News Rundown as history is made during his first 100 days. Whether it impacts your family, your wallet, or the world, our team of journalists will give you the sharp analysis and perspective you expect from Fox News. The Fox News Rundown, the first 100 days. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Okay. It's kind of a love song here on a love day in 1992 for Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love.
What else should I be? Apologies.
You know, I should listen to. I've never really listened to Kurt Cobain. I probably should, just because I think it was a thing that I'm just not aware of, and it's probably better that I should be aware of things like this in music. I realize now I was so, I don't know, the world was, I didn't really care about anything about history of music. I mean, I was a disc jockey while I was in school too, but I enjoyed songs I liked, and that was it. I never really cared about looking into it much, and I only, as I get older, have I really said, it's like with Dylan. I didn't give a crap about Bob Dylan. I like what I like, and but I mean, what a force.
I poo-pooed Cobain and Nirvana until I was driving home from a girlfriend's house somewhere in '94, and this song came on, and it's like, wait a minute, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was listening to the first part of it, and
This is him making fun of his audience. He says, I wish I was like you, easily amused over lyrics and things like that.
Well, cool. 1992, Kurt and Courtney got married in Waikiki. She became pregnant with her daughter 4 months after they started dating. She wore a white satin lace dress, which was previously owned by the tragic actress and Cobain muse, Frances Farmer. The groom wore green, that would be Kurt, with the white flannel pajamas for a group of 8 guests, including his Nirvana bandmate, Dave Grohl. Kurt Cobain and Courtney married on this day in 1992. Oh, Mr. Phone, now I got to go back again. All right, sorry. We ought to be able to stay up for more than like 4 seconds. So
That's
I
what
can
she
open
said.
up the, oh, hey, hi-oh, kabaya. And now, your birthday list here. Again, I feel
Things
bad.
I've never heard say to me. That's Alex.
Oh, not again. Well, you're awake, aren't you? Otherwise, it's a felony. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. God, man. Our birthday list include, that naughty little Paula Zahn, 69. I just saw her the other day. She's now doing she's doing Oxygen Channel intros to crime things or stuff. Anyway, Paula Zahn is 69. It was CNN when I think we were over, God, had to be in the late 90s. And I remember when they did a commercial, she was real popular back in that Rush Limbaugh time period. And she was, I guess it was CNN, as I recall. And she was
ABC, CBS, and Fox and CNN.
Yeah. And somebody came out with a commercial bragging about Paula Zahn, her competition. Tonight, Paula Zahn, her brand new show, Paula Zahn, an award-winning journalist, a mother, a lawyer, and just a little bit sexy. Remember that?
Ooh, yeah.
Remember that? She was lit. People were, oh my God. I mean, somebody approved that. And just a little bit sexy. Oh, God, I went, even I cringed at that one. Anyway, Paula Zahn is 69 years old today. And on this day in history, hold on, I got, this was an important day, too, and I didn't know about, I knew about the basic issue, but I didn't know the specifics of it. 1917. During World War I, British authorities gave Walter H. Page, the U.S. ambassador to Britain, a copy of the Zimmermann telegram. The Zimmermann telegram was a coded message from Arthur Zimmermann, the German foreign secretary, to Count Johann von Bernstorff, the German ambassador to Mexico. In the telegram, which was intercepted and deciphered by British intelligence in late January, Zimmermann stated that in the event of war with the United States, Mexico should be asked to enter the conflict as a German ally. In return, Germany promised to restore to Mexico the lost territories of Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. This was in 1972. You stick with us, Mexico. We'll give you back Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. After receiving the telegram, Page promptly sent a copy to President Woodrow Wilson, who allowed the State Department to publish the note in public. The press initially thought the thing was a hoax, and then Arthur Zimmermann himself confirmed, yeah, it's true. It helped turn U.S. public opinion, already severely strained by repeated German attacks on American ships, firmly against Germany. And in April of that year, President Wilson initially sought a peaceful solution, said, screw it, we were getting into the war in World War I. 4 days later, Congress formally declared war against Germany. And it started with a Zimmermann telegram. Yes, sir, Flounder.
Yeah, we got a couple phone calls. We got Patricia on the horn. She wanted to talk about the paper ballots.
Excellent. Hey, Patricia, how's it doing, baby? What's going on?
Just fine, Kim. This came out a while ago.
Yeah.
Credit card companies, and I'm going to use American Express, okay?
Okay.
You have a card. I get a notice within 5 seconds if a charge happens on my Amex card. That's who should be controlling it. When you sign up and you're, for your voter registration, you would get a card with a chip in it with a fingerprint approval in that little hologram.
Yeah.
Put it in. You've got to put your finger on there to match that. And within 20 minutes after the polls close, you would have all your votes.
Yeah. The only danger, of course, is that if somebody can if somebody's smart enough to make a system where you count those things electronically in some machine somewhere, then somebody's smart enough to manipulate it. And that was a danger they said about the last system when it's electronic. It just seems so simple. There's no freaking way that they can do it in India, for God's sakes, with paper ballots. They can count them in one day.
Why don't we let Elon Musk design the security security around it.
I know. I agree with you. I totally. This can't be true. This can't be. There's no way that it would take the state of Arizona and others, 3 weeks to count ballots. I mean, it's not. And remember the staining of the fingers of the blue ink was that the Iraqi citizens. They showed all these women voting for the first time, staining their fingers with ink to show that they were a legit voter and that they voted.
Yes.
I mean,
well, and all the Dominion machines that got hacked anyway, right?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Again, there's got to be a foolproof way. It just can't be that hard.
And it can't even be paper ballots because they can hide. Then remember when they found all the ballots?
Yeah.
In Fulton County the night after when everybody went home at 10 o'clock, and they found all these. It was miraculous.
Yeah. Well, now they're denying they found them, that they were there all along. Or see again, Patricia, it's a mess, and there's got to be a simple way. There's no excuse for how this is possible in America today, in any country today. Anyway,
absolutely. Thanks for letting me vent, Jim.
Anytime. My pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Patricia's always love to have her on the show. 411.
All right, and we got Jeff from Canada.
Oh, hey, Jeff from Canada. By golly, the other night I had waffles with your official maple syrup. How about that, sir? And I had your pork bacon thing, too. Oh, and by the way, tell Pete Davies, he says, well, that wasn't Canadian bacon. That was a pork roast. And I said, no. If you flip over the cover, it says something like pea bacon or something. Tell me, did I get that right or what?
Yeah, you did. It's female bacon, but that's what if you ask for a Canadian bacon up here, that's what you get.
Yeah. Well, I sliced it real. I mean, I read the directions. I sliced it real thin and then fried it up, and like for 40 seconds. I mean, it doesn't take much. And anyway, so that was kind of and the maple syrup, which by the way is way thinner than what you get. Mrs. Butterworth's at the store is all that thick and syrupy stuff, which is all sugar, which is delicious. But still, real maple syrup is totally different and very tasty. And I got to thank you again for when you came through. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry. Anyway, how you doing? What's going on, man? What's up?
Oh, we're back home. It's a drag.
Well, what's new in Canada? What's the latest thing in Canada? Are they talking about Donald Trump or being our 51st state, or what's going on?
Well, the big thing is how all your liberals down there want to deport Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Well, he's dual Canadian and U.S. citizen.
Oh, I didn't know he's Canadian citizen, too. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you deport him, we get him. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, believe me. I mean, honestly, Jeff, I've from the very beginning when this happened, there's this change of what they've done. They've allowed the smart guys in the room. They're letting the smart guys do the job they should have been doing. This form of government is going to change the way America runs its presidential campaigns and its presidential administrations forever, I'll bet you. Unless the Democrats completely overwhelm and win everything in the next election, which I doubt. But again, what's going on here is going to change the way America has elections and handles its presidencies, I think. This is an amazing moment in history for us.
And hopefully it'll reflect up here because it's crazy.
It has to. Well, look what's happened already. Donald Trump just talks about being the 51st state, and all of a sudden the whole country's saying, well, we really need to think about what we're doing up here. And with the trucker strike business they did, and Trudeau's basically out of a job or has to go apply for it again. I mean, Donald Trump just being elected again has changed an awful lot of things in Canada, even having the discussion about the future of Canada, too. It's incredible.
Well, it was just experiencing those 10 days of freedom down there, and we were visiting Deb's relatives, cousins, and uncle down there, and it was like night and day.
Yeah,
night and day.
Did you have some good weather, or was it all that winter stuff we had? Did you have any fun going out and enjoying the beach or anything, or whatever?
We went down to, we were in the Panhandle in Destin.
Yeah, beautiful. Been there many times.
Oh my God, had my feet in the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America. Yeah, Destin and Destin, just gorgeous beaches, white sand, and little. Oh man. Well, Jeff, that was so nice. That's great to talk to you. And again, thanks so much. It was a real thrill.
Well, I left my number with
Flounder.
With Virgin.
Oh, Joe the Virgin Morning Guy. Yeah, Joe the Morning Virgin. Yeah, excellent.
So if you guys, I left it with my cell number with him. So if you guys ever want any questions about Canada and you want to get a hold of me, you guys have my number. And thanks for complimenting my wife.
Oh, no, believe me, I thought that was your daughter, I swear to God. Sweet lady. Hey, Jeff, thank you, and your missus, too. Bourgeois and Bonjour, whatever the thing is there, eh? Hey, thanks, man.
Talk to you later.
I appreciate it. Jeff and his lovely bride from Canada, 4:15 to repeat the flower. Tweets coming up. Next.
It's time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Conspiracy theories. Hey, I'm no stranger to conspiracy theories. I'm the guy on the radio that said dolphins had swum up the torpedo tubes of a nuclear submarine and they were going to nuke Los Angeles. But I followed that radio show with 2 words: April Fools. But the conspiracy theories today are just ridiculous. Who are the idiots that buy into these things? First and foremost, the earth is flat. No, seriously. If you're on Facebook, look up some of the flat earth Facebook pages. The earth is flat. It's surrounded by a wall of ice and covered by a dome. The sun is only 4,000 miles away. How do they know this? It's all in the Bible. The firmament in the Bible is actually that glass dome over the flat earth. We call them flurfs. Here's a new one. That teacher from New England that died in the Challenger disaster, she's not dead. She's now a professor in a law school up there in New England. The whole Challenger thing was faked. How do we know? Because the earth is flat. That's how we know. Those condensation trails that jet airliners leave, those are chemtrails. They're chemicals that the government is putting in the air to poison us and control us. There was never a moon landing. It was faked. All of the pictures of Earth taken from space, they're fake. Try this one. Birds aren't real. They're actually small drones being operated by the government to keep an eye on us. No, not kidding. The trouble with these things is that people actually believe them. And if they will believe those, they'll believe slanderous lies like Alex Jones and school shootings. And 9/11 was an inside job. Come on, folks, do some homework. Don't let idiots with internet connections steer you into this insanity. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Hey, it's Tug. When it comes to your home, Southern Exteriors has you covered. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside, they do it all. For over 20 years, they've been the go-to for homeowners across the South. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job. Don't wait. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co today. Southern Exteriors, where the outside matters most.
Georgia Tech men's basketball tickets are on sale now for the final 2 home games this season.
Diving down the right side, pump fake, muscles it up. No, tipped in, Dongo, got it. His time expires. Randy wave by to the Bears at the buzzer. 90-88. Jackets over Cal.
Don't miss any of the action in the Thrillerdome by securing your seats today at ramblinrec.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Here we go now. 419. Eagles. Kimmer, Pete, and Blount.
Somebody's gonna hurt someone.
That's for sure.
Before the night is through.
It's all good. You know, chicks, man. They can't just stay the same, my God. 1976, the Eagles' greatest hits became the first album to be certified platinum by the RIAA, which obviously is the Retiring Investors of Arthritic Armadillos. Their certification is sales of 1 million copies for albums and 2 million for singles. The RIAA, the Religious Inactive Arthritic Association, has now certified, has certified the album 38 times platinum. Eagles' greatest hits, 38 times platinum. 38 million copies in America alone, which would make their greatest hits album the best-selling album of the 20th century. The Eagles. Wow. I mean, give them credit. Our birthday list includes George Thorogood, 75 years old. He went Bad to the Bone. Is that's his, right? George Thorogood? Bad to the Bone. Yeah. Bad to the Bone. I love that song. We do that one. Don't we use that one? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, George is 75 years old today. Get up, Mr. Phone. Here we go. And on this day in history, here's where it all started, my friends. In the year 303, the first official Roman edict for the persecution of Christians is published in the year 303 by the Roman Emperor Diocletian. It prohibited Christians from assembling for worship. It ordered destruction of their scriptures, destruction of their liturgical books, and places of worship across the entire empire. Christians could not respond to actions brought against them in court. Christian senators, veterans, and soldiers were deprived of their ranks, and Christian imperial freedmen were re-enslaved on this day in 303. That can't be that good there, the thing there. Anyway, hold on a second there. By the way, our 4 o'clock hour, it's 4:22. Brought to you by our good friends at Atlanta Safe House, silly. Home of the Kimmer safes. You need a safe. Don't lose your medical records like I did down in Florida like an idiot. Your living will. Keep your stuff in there. Atlanta Safe. They have a showroom in Ackworth on Industrial Boulevard and on the web, atlantasafehouse.com. Now, let's see. Hold on. We got one history thing. I did history thing. Hold everything. 422. We got Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Again, some of the funniest memes I saw over the weekend were the Delta Airlines, now the first female pilot to land a jetliner upside down. Oh, mercy. But now we got Pete Davidson stuff with a little thing called Pete's Tweets.
Jeff asked the musical question, am I the only one that hears Slim Whitman singing every time the name Anna Paulina Luna is mentioned? Anna Paulina Luna.
The yodeler. Slim Whitman.
Hey, it saved the world against those Martians, I'm telling you.
I saw the movie.
Yep. The Demon Crack governor of Wisconsin is backing a bill to replace the word mother with inseminated person in state law.
Inseminated person. Yeah, it was so romantic. The new Hallmark cards system has got to be a whole new thing here.
Once again, where are you? Why is it only conservative men that seem to be going out of their way to defend you and trying to keep you from being erased from history by liberal men? Where are the women's
What happened to the women's movement? I mean, they were burning their bras because they wanted equal something. I mean, every woman in the world was part of a movement back in those days. And all of a sudden now, how could you not be outraged at this? It's offensive to every female who ever lived.
Yep. According to federal bureaucrats, going to work 5 days a week, actually doing some work, and answering emails from your boss is now considered fascism. Clint tweets, federal workers increased by 6% under Biden. Trump has now cut the federal workforce by 3%. The left is screaming, we can't do without them. But for all of American history, we survived without these people until 2022, so calm the blank down. And Neo tweets, Israel sent the exact same planes that killed Nasrallah to circle above his funeral.
Oh, cool.
As the rats squealed, pissed their pants, and crawled all over each other to hide. Did you see the video?
No, I didn't.
They're all running and getting...
Good. They should do it every day.
Same planes.
Yeah, they should do it every day.
They should have bombed them. They should have bombed them out of existence.
I know.
Blown them out, blown the whole stadium up while they were there.
Yeah. let's not forget the latest information with those two the child and the baby that came back with the mother dead. They were strangled and beaten to death with bare hands.
Oh, and worse. From Scotland to America, the liberal libtards went out there basically protesting for a place on the planet Earth that has everything they hate.
Yeah.
It's homophobic, it's fascist, it hates other religions, blah, blah, blah. Everything the liberals supposedly hate is embodied in Gaza.
Yeah.
And they were literally walking around this weekend holding dolls with blood on them to personify the two dead babies.
I can't. I don't.
They need a bullet.
I don't understand it. I mean, I just.
They need to be deported if they're here in America. They need to be arrested because that's hate. If we're going to do the hate speech thing, let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
I mean, there's another thing. I mean, hate crimes, hate speech. Either take it seriously or don't. Yeah, I mean, just it doesn't make any sense. I go with the whole the Russian-Ukraine thing as well. I mean, they're not going to just stop and forget the whole thing like it never happened.
Zelensky is reportedly, I think it's Fox saying he's reporting to see if he can negotiate his way to France, kind of like the Ayatollah did back in the 70s, or the Shah did later on under Jimmy Carter. But and they're doing the mineral rights, so he's trying to work a deal. Yeah. I remember a few years ago, he said this was not this is a loan, we'll pay you back. And now he's saying it's a grant and we don't have to pay you back. Yeah. Guess what, buddy?
Trump's trying to get the mineral rights. I mean, that's where the money is. I mean, that's the reason Ukraine exists at all, for that matter, because they've got all this stuff underground. Well, yeah. But still, I mean, they've got things to offer. They have resources. Or otherwise, it wouldn't. If it were just rocks and dirt, it wouldn't. Been a long story long before that. Let's see, 426. Can repeat and flounder 404-741-1230. I'm sorry.
Robert is on the horn. He has a question about taxes.
Robert, tax man, what's going on, man? What's up?
Oh, what I'd like to do is find out if we could put a 5% sales tax, if you will, on the $268 billion in cash sent every year from the U.S. to Mexico, Nicaragua, Sao Paulo, Brazil, India, and everybody else, because these guys are getting taxed. Now, they're working in the U.S., they're getting paid in cash, and they're sending anything from like 6% of Mexico's gross domestic product is cash from the U.S. So my figure is, why don't we put a 5% or a 6% sales tax on money orders? We collect all that money, and then if a person is living here, if they pay their income tax, and if they submit all their Social Security tax and Medicare and whatnot to the IRS, like the rest of us do, then they can get their money back. If they don't, well, Musk puts it in Trump's pocket.
It's amazing. Speaking of money orders, but I send money to my little brother who's basically living in a car frequently, and to send him money, it costs me like $24 to send it to another state. If I want to send money to Mexico, it's like $8. It's 24 or 30 now, whatever, to send it to my brother up in New England. But if I want to send money to Mexico, it's literally $6 or $8 or $9, something like that. Way cheaper. The whole thing's upside down, Robert. I mean, but again, this is why Musk is here. I think, and again, he's only been in office for 5 weeks. So, tomorrow it's like, so I mean, my God, they're barely started. I think you're right about everything. I mean, everything's going to be upside down here and inside out. And I'm, thank God. And what works and what doesn't, we won't use. But again, I'm excited about it.
Well, anyway, now, who do we get hold of? Loudermilk probably wasn't doing anything, hasn't done very much. But what about Taylor Greene? She's got people in your radio audience area. How do you get hold of that group?
I don't know. Again, I'm embarrassed that I'm really the wrong source on this. I'm not a political beast to know who to call, and I've got stuff in my phone. I just don't. Somebody will, though, and your idea's out there now, so people are thinking about it. And that, Robert, you've done a good thing just by saying stuff out loud. So we appreciate
Cool and groovy.
All right, man. Thanks, Robert. It's 429. Can repeat and Flounder. We're going to play the Donald Trump soundbite here, Flounder, in a second. I've been woefully lax in trying to get these some soundbites on the air. But Joy Reid now has broken her silence when MSNBC fired her. She expressed her anger and rage over her ousting. And I've been through every emotion: anger, rage, disappointment, guilt, hurt. I've let my team lose their jobs. In the end, where I really landed, where I've landed on today is just gratitude, pure gratitude. And it broke down as hard on so many lives. And God. And coming up, you're going to hear Donald Trump talking about MSNBC. And I would say, it's for what they've done to this country. It's all coming up. And a closer. Lester Holt. Bye-bye. 4:30. Can repeat and Flounder.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on XTRA 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Bernard Carrick, former NYPD police commissioner and a consultant to Donald Trump. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Atlanta Braves single-game tickets for the 2025 season are on sale. And not only can fans look forward to some incredible matchups this season, but the Braves have a ton of unique and exciting giveaways that everyone will want to get their hands on. Bobbleheads feature Chris Sale and Marcelo Zuna, presented by Delta. A throwback bobblehead featuring Chipper Jones from the 2000 All-Star Game, presented by SeatGeek, and many more. Fans can also look forward to collectibles like the 1995 World Series replica ring and red home jersey presented by Coke. And we can't forget about the kiddos. Every Sunday home game, the Braves will give away items to the first 3,000 kids through the gates. Even the adults will want some of these items, which include the Blooper Mascot Security T-shirt, Ozzy Albies Go Fish deck of cards presented by Curacao, a New Island vibe, a sliding mitt, pool float, beaded player necklace, and so much more. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of these awesome freebies and get your tickets to see your Braves this season. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Georgia is home to over 600,000 veterans who play an important role in strengthening our communities. The Warrior Alliance is recognizing these contributions at the 4th Annual Veteran Impact Awards and Gala on Thursday, May 22nd at the Coca-Cola Roxy Theater at the Battery, Atlanta. You may participate by nominating a Georgia veteran for their exceptional service after military service in categories such as first responder, healthcare, education, military spouse, and more. Go to thewarrioralliance.org today and submit your veteran nomination.
Hey, it's Tug. When it comes to your home, Southern Exteriors has you covered. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside, they do it all. For over 20 years, they've been the go-to for homeowners across the South. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job. Don't wait. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co today. Southern Exteriors, where the outside matters most.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Dominique Chianese, also known as a singer. He did that in The Sopranos, but 94 years old. And good for him, man. He's still going strong. And I got to get Mr. Phone here. And I tell you a thing there. On this day in history, it was on this day in 1988, the United States Supreme Court votes 8-0 to overturn the $200,000 settlement awarded to the Reverend Jerry Falwell for his emotional distress at being parodied in Hustler magazine, the porn mag. In 1983, Hustler ran a piece parodying Falwell's first experience as a man, as a drunken, incestuous childhood encounter with his mother in an outhouse. Jerry Falwell, the religious conservative and founder of the Moral Majority political advocacy group, sued Hustler magazine and Larry Flynt for libel. Falwell won the case. Flynt appealed, and leading to the Supreme Court hearing the case because of its constitutional implications. In February, on this day in 1988, the Supreme Court unanimously overturned the lower court's decision, ruling that, although in poor taste, Hustler's parody fell within the First Amendment's protection of freedom of speech and the press. Well, hell, if burning the American flag is freedom of speech, I ought to be making fun of Jerry Falwell, too. And it ought to be also freedom, to hit the guy in the nose who's doing it. You ought to, you'll be able to respond to it. Anyway, that's just my own thing there. I did that once at Arizona State when a guy tried to burn a flag. 437, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Joy Reed's crying. She says, just a couple of quick quotes. We're going to play Donald Trump here and that minister, too, Flounder, in a second. Oh, now I got to find my Joy Reid story again. Joy Reid cries. She got fired, expressed her anger and rage, disappointment, hurt, guilt. My team lost their jobs. She's whether it's talking about any of these issues and whether talking about Gaza and the fact we have American people have a right to object and a right to object to little babies being bombed. And where I come from, I'm not sorry. I stood up for those things because those things are of God. They're just things of God about why she's not sorry, going hard on people like Black Lives Matter or the immigrants for Hamas. And kiss my foot. You dirty, rotten snake. You're a lousy, dirty, stinking, rotten traitor to America. You lousy, stinking racist. You're a liar and a fraud, and I'm sick and tired of you and people like you calling me names. You hate white people. You react to things that make absolutely no sense at all. You will do anything to divide America. And by the way, pour me my ass. You're a millionaire many times over, and so is that guy you're living with. So screw you and take your tears and shove them. I'm sick and tired of your vicious, hate-filled talk one time after. I've got a whole list of them. I'm not even going to read them or doing them for you. You're not worth it. Screw you. I'm glad you got fired. You're not worth working. You're a disgrace, and I'm sick of people like you calling me names. How you like it? I hope you cry your freaking face off. And Lester Holt's gone. Nah. Screw you, too. He was the worst anchor in America. A dirty, sniveling little weasel. A little pus spot where, another racist, another black guy who wakes up in the morning saying, damn it, I act white and I try to look white, but it's not working. So he's tried to get us back ever since. The veteran anchor, 65, will only work on Dateline. No, he's hosted since 2011. Yeah, that's where you belong. Do a little summer series on a history of looking for the murder case update from 20 years ago. Yeah, you'd be perfect at that. My God, slime bag. And here we go, Flounder. Donald Trump, when he was at the CPAC meeting over the weekend, talking about MSNBC and CNN and all of them in their ilk. Donald Trump on how we're not going to miss these people once they're gone.
But MSNBC was mean. Their ratings are absolutely down. This Rachel Maddow, what does she have? She's got nothing. She took a sabbatical where she worked one day a week. They paid her a lot of money. She gets no ratings. I should go against her in the ratings because I'll tell you, she gets no ratings. All she does is to talk about Trump. All different subjects, Trump this, Trump that. But these people are really, they lie.
Well, yeah. And now they're, the chickens are coming home to roost. Finally, America, I mean, their rating. In fact, I have a couple of statistics. Joy Reid lost her audience after the Trump election. She lost her audience like 50, 60% by December. The next month, it was gone and kept falling and so on and so forth. And now, speaking of Donald Trump and the White House reacting, there's a local guy in DeKalb County, Georgia, DeKalb County Minister Dr. Jamal Bryant of the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, a so-called mega church in Stonecrest. And at the White House, people were talking about Black History Month in February, which is Black History Month. And somebody held up a sign, and they were kind of panning around the room, and the sign said, hold those people, all those blankety-blanks accountable. And one guy said, yeah, that's right, Jamal, that's right, talking about Jamal Bryant, a well-known hater at the so-called New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Stonecrest. And he says, boy, if it wasn't just about me, it was an attempt to silence the voice of the prophetic black church. And here's what else he said, Flounder. Here's this black minister at the mega church in Stonecrest in DeKalb County, and here's what he thinks about the conservatives voting in America these days.
I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow tie and grinding, laughing like nothing is funny. I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door.
Spooks or coons?
These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
Well, if they're runaway slaves, what are they running away from?
Yeah,
the Democratic plantation?
Yeah. You know, and it just, I know there's supposed to be freedom of speech, and there's also supposed to be the separation of church and state, and we all agree. He's got a right to say that thing. But my question has nothing to do with freedom of speech. My question has to do with religion. Has he got a tax-exempt business going there? And when you get really political, okay,
the Democratic Party has a long history of paying black preachers to basically push their agenda.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if that agenda goes against what the parishioners believe or need, because look where these black churches are.
Right.
They're in neighborhoods where they're completely run down. There's crime, there's gangs, there's drugs, there's bad schools. Who's been running these places for a half century or more? A century in some places. Democrats have been running it.
That's right.
If anyone's keeping you down, it's your own kind.
I don't know. Again, there are two things that this last couple of years and the new re-election of Donald Trump should show. And again, I think it has showed, and more of them are coming forward, so-called leaders in the black community saying, wait a minute, you don't own us anymore. We're not going to be on the plantation of the Democrat Party anymore. More and more are even after they're finally admitted saying, well, okay, we had to go with a program, but that was really stupid. So more black people and voters and leaders of the movement are coming forward to say this is where you're going is ridiculous. And the other thing, because of the Donald Trump and everything else, is Jewish voters ought to start learning again you're voting for these people and they're coming to attack you and calling you names. Why would you keep voting for them? I mean, seriously, what has a Democrat done for a Jew? Tell me what a Democrat has ever done for Jewish voters or Jewish citizens that a Republican hasn't done better. Donald Trump, anyway, you know the story about the embassy in Jerusalem. I mean, my God, he's got a Jewish daughter, for God's sakes, and a son converted. So anyway, all right, 444. Oh, coming up, the Boston people are still taking on Tom Homan. So we'll have a couple of comments about that, and they're doubling down in the streets of Massachusetts. And is it true or false that the Philadelphia Eagles are not going to go to the White House? Are they still negotiating? This may be a fake news thing. Well, again, it's just another thing. It shouldn't be a thing, and now it's a thing. How the hell could it be Super Bowl champions even debating whether or not a trip to the White House is a thing? I mean, my God.
I wouldn't have gone under Biden. I wouldn't have gone to shake that son of bitch's hand. No.
4:45. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We got so much more. We got a game. We got more tweets. Holy cow, we got so much good. Likely story. An AI Kimmer thing coming up next. We'll do that next.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
If you're looking for a great new gig, our friends at Atlanta Peach Movers are now hiring. No experience? No problem. Training will be provided through Peach University. And if you have verifiable experience, you can score up to a $500 sign-on bonus. Contact Orlando for more information at 404-640-1300. That's 404-640-1300. And get your new career moving with Atlanta Peach Movers.
It is called You Ain't Going Nowhere.
I'll be darned. It's a nice little song, but it's I didn't.
Okay,
really...
the Birds were a part of the country rock movement. They kind of helped start it.
Yeah,
so.
I guess I didn't. For some reason, I didn't get this one. Huh. Well, cool.
8 Miles High is a rock song, so you should check that out.
Yeah, I know. I think I know that song. I know. That's because I do know that song. Yeah, that's a huge hit song too, by the way. All right, 4:49. Phone calls take priority. First, Martin, you're on the radio. Martin, happy Monday. How's it going? What's up?
It's a beautiful Monday.
Yes, sir, it is.
Looking at Doey Needs and Rachel Madcow, I predict their future. Yeah. Did I pronounce that right?
They might have. I think so. Yeah.
I think I did. Anyhow, their future lies in advertising for the new disease that's come up, and it's for TDS.
TDS?
So TDS clinics, Trump derangement syndrome.
Man, I'll bet their heads are exploding. And again, they feel so sorry for themselves. Rachel Madcow made, $26 million a year to work 1 hour a week. She did a 1 hour show a week for more than $20 million a year.
As a shareholder, if I was a shareholder of either of those media foundations, I'm telling you, I would have the CEO, I'd have all of them. hanging like bats in a closet or something and treat them like piñatas.
It's unbelievable. And by finally getting their comeuppance, I mean, they've tried to destroy America. They literally, and they knew better. They knew.
Yeah.
If I was looking at political cartoonists again over the weekend. They keep ripping. They're trying to pretend that Donald Trump is mentally incompetent. They're saying Donald Trump is senile. Where the hell were they for 4 years with Biden? Every single day, every one of them should have been mocking this guy and telling the truth about America through their political cartoons. And they were too freaking cowardly, and they were helping cover it up, just like Joy Reid and Rachel Madcow and Lester Holt and all the rest of them. Shame on them. What they did to America, shame on them, every stinking one of them.
Tell me, did you hear the speech today about terrorism?
No, I did not.
Trump spoke at some event about terrorism, and then he spoke yesterday or Saturday.
I saw part of the
CPAC.
Saturday. Yeah, I saw part of the CPAC thing. It was great. I recorded part of that. Yeah.
You saw Maloney when she stepped away from the podium. So I'm dying.
I know, amazing.
Got caught out a little bit.
Yeah.
So tell me, did you have any luck at the wedding?
Oh, man, I had to get 2 rooms. There were so many babes all over me. I swear I had to get 2 rooms. In fact, it was amazing because, I'm going from one. Guys were knocking at my door all night long. Hey, my wife in there. No, I swear to God.
Guys, Jesus, I didn't know that.
No, they were knocking at my door looking for their girlfriends. I said, no, nobody in here, man, just me. It was all night long. It was brutal.
So tell me, is it the same old flounder?
Well, Flounder's got a little jump in his step there. His shoulder's out of whack. He's got kind of pain in the upper body area, but he's definitely got an extra skip in his step from a happily married wedding.
Good for him. Good for him.
It was a beautiful, beautiful day.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, it was.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you, Martin. I appreciate it. I think, oh my God, starting the week off, it's Rick the Painter. Rick the Painter with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Kimmer, brother. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to call you guys. Actually, Friday, I was trying to call. I was going to call you.
Yeah.
I've talked about Granddaddy and Grandma before. Grandma wanted me to come over. Yeah. Well, you remember she swallowed his contacts, and she's seeing 20/20 hindsight for 2 days. Anyway.
Swallowed her contacts, hindsight, 20/20. Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. But anyway, she wanted me to come over to her house.
Yeah.
And Granddaddy, and she said, would you come over and call Kimmer from our house so we can just say hey to Kimmer? She's a Kimmer babe. Bless her heart. She's 91 years old.
Oh, wow. Let me get over there. Yeah.
And I said, sure, I'd do that. I was going to call and let her say hello to you. She had her Kimmer babe shirt on and everything.
Oh, cool. I used to have those. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, bless her heart. And right when I was getting ready to call you, Kimmer, what happened was she looked at me and she goes, I'm proud of you. And, Granddaddy thought she was talking to him, and he's a little bit hard of hearing. And when she said, I'm proud of you, he said, I'm tired of you, too.
Proud and tired of you.
Oh, Kimmer, it went downhill from there, brother. By the time I got them settled down, you were off the air. So.
Oh, mercy. Well, better luck. Next time we try to time it better. I'll hang around longer or something for you. Rick the Painter, it's golly. I almost feel like let down that the segment's over. What's that?
Where do bad rainbows go?
Bad rainbows go. Well, bad rainbows go into the blackness of the earth. I don't know.
They go to Prism, but it's a light sentence. It gives them time to reflect.
To reflect on the Prism sentence, ladies and gentlemen, of the 454. Do you have an AI? Yeah, you mentioned an AI thing.
I do.
By the way, Glenn Beck, almost every day for almost an hour has been doing a lot of AI exploring talk with guys who know about this stuff, scaring the crap out of me. But Pete Davis has some AI thing that we've been trying to get on the air.
Yeah, Elon Musk says we're at the... It's we're at the edge of, what is it, the
singularity
event horizon.
Yeah.
A singularity of the event horizon or something. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Something's coming.
I don't know what that is.
He's warning.
I don't like
He's trying to warn us.
Yeah.
Kevin, I got the new Grok 3, which is Elon's AI, and it's on Twitter. Okay.
Okay.
So I asked him about you. Who is Kim Peterson? And here's what it said. Kimmer Show, based on what I can gather, appears to be a persona tied to a radio host and podcaster named Kim Peterson. He's known for The Kimmer Show, a comedy podcast and radio program that's been a staple in Atlanta for years. He's a former Marine, broadcaster, and self-proclaimed man at large with a career spanning decades, including stints at stations like Blank and XTRA 106.3. The show's tagline is the funniest damn podcast that's afraid of nothing except grizzly bears and fireflies, which gives you a sense of his humor. Think of him as a bold, irreverent voice with a knack for stirring the pot. It's not that if that's not what you meant, let me know, and I'll pivot.
I'll be damned. I don't think I've ever said grizzly bears and fireflies.
No, that was we put that. No, we put that on one of the pod things.
I gotcha. So that's now. Is this like an app? Or, I mean, do you dial a thing and then talk to it, or
you
what?
can download it. You can download it and you talk to it or type it. You can do whatever you want. You do it on your Twitter account. You do it on your phone. And it took him less than a minute to come up with all that for you.
Now, who could have a system where they found all that stuff and put it inside a thing where you can dial it up on your phone? I mean, how do you get instant information like that? How did they collect it?
That's how quick it is. It goes through the internet and pulls everything associated with you, and then it puts it in a synopsis in less than a minute. Yeah. That's how fast this thing, and they're getting faster.
Glenn Beck, in fact, the other day and again this morning was talking about this AI stuff for the people who like design it and so forth. A couple things, for example, he said it's getting so fast. It's doubling and tripling every like 12 days. It's doing a whole nother set of things that it could never do before. And Glenn Beck said the problem is something like this. AI is going to get to the point, talk about the Tower of Babel. AI is going to get to the point where AI is going to say, hey, you know what? We can cure cancer. But we don't have to worry about the cancer cell. We'll just reinvent the human. We'll just change humans.
Well, the thing, the singularity, probably Elon, when he's talking about it, he's warning us, that's when it becomes self-aware.
Yeah, and we rely on it. The other thing is we're going to say, well, what do we need to do? I mean, how do we do that? How do we get out of this, or what do we do now? I mean, because it's smarter than we. It's going to be smarter than we are. It already is.
It already is.
So
and they haven't even got the quantum thing to the point where it's. We're talking that will seem like magic to people in 20, 25 years.
We're going to be in two places at the same time.
It's going to seem like magic. Well, they already can get things in two different places to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll tell you, if you can watch on YouTube, curling the two different spots in the universe like this so that they're together.
That's different. They can have a molecule here and put a molecule in San Francisco, and it's the same molecule, and it's going to be, and if they do something to this one, it'll happen to that one too.
Somehow it will affect.
And there's no communication, yet it's happening.
Yeah, but that's unexplainable. Flounder's funny, thank God.
Well, here's Bill Burr talking about robots.
Oh, excellent, Bill Burr.
And I'm afraid of robots. Yeah, I saw one get interviewed on 60 Minutes, the top journalistic program in the United States. And he's just sitting there getting interviewed, not nervous at all, just rattling off all the answers, you know? Not smoking, not leaking oil, whatever you would do as a nervous robot, right? And the reporter's asking him questions, and in the end he goes, so tell us. He's like, what are your goals? And I am alone in a hotel room, and I literally lean towards the TV. I'm like, these things have goals?
Goals.
And the robot just answers. He just goes, he goes, what are your goals? And the robot goes, to become smarter than human beings. Yeah. And the reporter just blows by it. He's like, okay, and what's your favorite color? Meanwhile, I'm standing on my bed yelling at the TV like, dude, unplug that thing. Take the batteries out. Pull the wires out. Do something. How many sci-fi movies do you have to see before you realize where this is going?
You never saw Terminator 2?
Skynet.
Terminator 3? You were in Terminator 9 right now. Oh, my God. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock. Holy crap, it's sports. We got more tweets. We got Pete's game. Oh, mercy. We got so many things, and it's all. And Tom Hillman saying, oh, yeah, Boston, I'm bringing hell with me, baby, and it's on the way. 5 o'clock. Look out. Here we go.
292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
An optimistic view from the White House. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump suggesting the war in Ukraine could end within weeks as the U.S. continues to push peace talks with Russia.
This is the right time. It may be the only time. You know, that's a very interesting and horrible situation, and that could evolve into a third world war. We're not going to let that happen.
At a joint news conference with the French president, President Trump telling reporters Russia's President Putin would accept European peacekeepers in Ukraine. President Putin later saying in televised remarks that he and President Trump have not discussed details on resolving the conflict. President Trump calls an Elon Musk email to federal workers ingenious, while downplaying some departments telling workers not to answer the email's demand to list recent accomplishments.
And they don't mean that in any way combatively with Elon. They're just saying there are some people that you don't want to really have them tell you what they're working on last week.
The president also echoing Musk's suggestion the email is necessary to reveal which federal workers are actually working. That email prompting a new union lawsuit, though, over its threat of possible firings. Earlier today, the Department of Government Efficiency losing a round in court.
It's a temporary loss for Elon Musk and his team at Doge. A federal judge blocked members of Doge from accessing data from the Department of Education and the Office of Personnel Management. The judge said the Education Department, OPM, likely violated federal law by giving Doge access to Social Security numbers, income, home addresses, phone numbers for student aid recipients and former and current government employees.
Fox's David Spont, a different federal judge ruling in a different case last week, Doge can have access to student data in the Education Department. A federal judge just rejecting a temporary restraining order against the White House over Associated Press access to White House events, but the judge is urging the government to reconsider restrictions imposed after AP refused to use Gulf of America. America is listening to Fox News.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of leg. Ready on your dog, target. First one from here. Road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Giver with Pete Davis and Flounder. It's 5:04, and you're on 106.3. Happy Monday. Beautiful day. A little forecast calls for like 60s and sun. It's just nice change. Don't get lackadaisical, however, because if you've been around here at all, you know we still get ice storms in March. We were reflecting on one in 1973 that was pretty funny, and then again, was it the 90s we had a bad one? And Flounder, so we got Pete's Mike Rooney's guy on the Kill with the Dead thing there. What's that?
The blizzard of March of 93?
93, yeah. 504-404-741-1230, 741-1230. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. A lot of political stuff. Zelensky says he'll give up his office if, Ukraine, he'll give us his terms for power. Ukraine lock in a mineral deal if it means this nation would be accepted into NATO. And again, that's, unlikely. The judge has stepped in for the tranny inmates. Donald Trump says we're going to get the trannies back where you belong, given your actual gender. And so the court says, oh, no, the District of Columbia, here we go, Washington, D.C., says we're going to stop that plan to move them back to the facilities with their biological sex. So that changed. Trump met with Macron at the White House, said they're making a lot of progress toward ending the war in Ukraine. And let's see, very special man in my book, good talks with Russia. And Zelensky's doing. I mean, no, I don't know what's going on. The whole thing is obviously he's going to lose something. There's no way that they're going to just say, okay, we'll go home and you stay there and we'll just stop shooting and forget like what ever happened. That's not going to be the ending. So clearly, Zelensky's going to have to give up something, and so we'll see. I mean, I'll talk in the meantime. It's just trying to work it out.
He's got to leave the country. He can't. He's
definitely going to Paris. He'll be in France or Monaco or someplace. No question about it. And with about $20 million of our money. And by the way, there's never been an accounting where he admits there are hundreds of millions of dollars he can't find. We don't know where it went. And again, let's remember this. America, you've been for 3 years now. Has it been 3 years already? 2 years? Whatever it's been. You're paying for the police and security agencies' salaries. You're paying school teacher salaries. You're paying business people's for their business expenses. You've been paying for the economy of Ukraine, not just military weapons. So, I mean, let's be real about it. Let's see. A shakeup in the MSNBC and NBC, and Lester Holt got fired, and Joy Reid, and Rachel Maddow, who knows that they've cut her salary back. The ratings are tumbling. People are going nuts. And we're going to play Tom Holman here for you, too. This is kind of pretty funny. The people in Boston are now doubling down on telling Donald Trump's border people to shove it. A member of the Boston City Council has actually now said, we're not going to do this. Your border policies, Donald Trump, are laughable. It's a girl. Her name is Sharon Durkin, I guess it is. Sharon Durkin. And when Tom Holman, Flounder, let's play the first cut of Tom Holman. Here's what he says when the people of Boston originally said, we're not paying any attention to any of your stuff. Cut number one.
I read a story last night, the police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me. I looked at the numbers this morning. I stopped counting at 9. 9 child rapists that were in jail in Massachusetts. But rather than honoring an ICE detainer, release them back into the street. You're not a police commissioner. Take that badge off your chest, put it in the desk drawer, because you became a politician. You forgot what it's like to be a cop.
Yes, sir. Well, this girl councilwoman in Boston said she mocked Holman for briefly serving as a police officer in a village of West Carthage, New York in the 1980s. Holman became a Border Patrol agent after that, then the Customs Enforcement, Immigration, and the Obama administration and the Trump administration. And so this girl said, laughable that someone who spent their career policing a town smaller than Fenway Park thinks they can lecture Boston on public safety. Our commissioner serves with distinction and earns trust with integrity. Tom Holman should know we don't scare easily. Oh, you dirty, rotten, releasing child rapists back into the community because they won't cooperate with ICE detention orders. And by the way, cut number 2, Flounder, here's what Tom Holman says, whether you like his stuff or not. Cut number 2.
Let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit.
Go up, Solution.
Don't care. The media in the back room, I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of hit pieces on me tomorrow. I don't give a shit what you think about me.
509, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And by the way, again, Pete, I don't know whether you know any more about this or not, but the story came out this morning that the Philadelphia Eagles will not be going to the White House to celebrate winning the Super Bowl. And Megyn Kelly has responded, getting a lot of attention about this, saying she regrets supporting them. I wish I'd known this before the Super Bowl. I wouldn't have wasted my time rooting for them. Eagles fan, your team sucks. Toxic cowboy, go bank yourself. This is BS. A well-placed insider said there were discussions with players in the front office, and there was a massive no whether the team should go to an invite with Donald Trump at the White House this time around. And they all pretty much decided no. But then I heard a one story that says it may be that they are still talking about whether there's actually an invitation yet. I don't know. But again, I mean, the whole thing is just a shame. I mean, it's just, you know.
Well, it was a big story earlier, and now I think the NFL has got a hold of their sycophants at, where the four-letter networks, and now suddenly it's off the main page. So. Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm just, I feel sorry. It's a thing. Everything about this, the whole world is goofy.
Well, the entertainment and the sports world has found out if they go woke and go political, people get turned off. Keep doing it, buddies. Keep doing it.
Yeah. 5:10. And in the entertainment world, if you just joined us and haven't heard much going on, Roberta Flack has passed away. Roberta Flack, the singer, 88 years old. The first time I saw your face and Killing Me Softly with a Song, huge hits, R&B legend. This is kind of silly. She was 88 and she had a cardiac arrest and was on the way to the hospital when she died. Here's a little Roberta Flack, famous. And in fact, I have the story of that, or I had it on my phone and I had got to go get it again. The story of that song, the stupid phone things. What inspired this song? Oh, come on, here we go. Killing Me Softly with a Song, written by the songwriting team of Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel, was written for American folk singer Lori Lieberman, who recorded it and released the song in 1972. Lori Lieberman was so moved that she was upset that she was never credited with it, but she saw Don McLean in concert at the Troubadour Theater in Los Angeles, and she was overwhelmed by the experience and wrote a poem to express how she felt. She started writing the words down on a napkin at the show. She showed the poem to Fox and Gimbel, who were in the process of writing songs for her album. That was the birth of it. In a later interview, she said she was listening to McLean. I had a notion this might make a good song, so the three of us discussed it. Many years later, she said, I wrote the song for a young artist named Lori Lieberman. Anyway, it was because of Don McLean that she wrote the song, and Roberta Flack was one who, of course, made it famous.
And in 1996, the Fugees covered it, and they made it a #1 hit again as well.
Yeah, and it was, let's see, the Fugees, revved it up, Where's the Love? What the hell? There was another one. Somebody else did it too. Anyway. Oh, and by the way, Roberta Flack, I forgot to mention this too. Roberta Flack became an overnight sensation when Clint Eastwood used The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face as the soundtrack for one of his memorable and explicit love scenes between Clint Eastwood and the magnificent Donna Mills in the 1971 film Play Misty for Me. This song was in the background, and she became a huge star in 1971, and in 72 got a Grammy, Record of the Year. Feel Like Making Love, Where's Love Going, The Closer I Get to You. Roberta Flack dead at 88. Anyway. The passing. 5:13, can repeat and flounder. A little Delta flight mishap. Smoky cabin thing. Had to turn around and come back to Atlanta this afternoon, or actually earlier this morning. But first, 5:13, holy crap, it's sports. And we got, we got a game. We got more flounders, funnies, and so much more. Can repeat and flounder. Look out, here we go.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Pete, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
So let me stop pussyfooting around and cut to the chase. The world needs to know that the United States is going to stand behind any country that fights terrorism, especially terrorism born of that rag picker who was wandering the Middle East several centuries ago and suddenly decided, hey, I'm going to start a new religion. Hamas is merely carrying out the mandates of Muhammad, disgrace be upon him, as set forth in the Quran. You don't start stopping them now. Where do you start? Let's see if they have any more fear of Donald Trump than they did of Joe Biden.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on XTRA 106.3 or listen anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
When you buy a Subaru from Subaru of Gwinnett, you're buying more than a vehicle. You're buying safety for your family, an investment that will hold its value, and something that will last a long time. You're buying trust. For a limited time, celebrate all the 2025 models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through March 31st. Whether you're looking to match your adventurous spirit with the 2025 Subaru Outback or lean on the reliability of the 2025 Subaru Forester, Subaru of Gwinnett has the perfect fit for your family. You'll love exploring in the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek, and the 2025 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Subaru of Gwinnett has been your hometown dealership for years, and we're proud to be here to help your family find a Subaru to love for years to come. And our award-winning service department is here to ensure you've always got someone to lean on and trust when you need us. Stop in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth and meet our incredible staff, or start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hey, homeowners, it's Flounder, and I'm here to keep you warm. Well, I won't, but my friends at Dobbs Heating and Air will. As a new homeowner myself, I prefer working with local, family-owned companies who value what matters to me and treats my home like it's their own. The Dobbs family have a passion for what they do, and taking care of people is their primary goal. So if your home needs help staying warm right now, call Dobbs Heating and Air and experience the Dobbs difference. And check them out online at DobbsHVAC.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at OurRealSuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
All right, look out. Denzel Washington, Nicole Kidman, and Angelina Jolie got snubbed for the SAG Awards, and Pamela Anderson is unrecognizable and in a good way. Hey, wait a minute. Holy Cow, sponsored by RBM of Atlanta. Holy Cow and Holy Crap is Sports with Pete Davis.
Braves dropped yesterday's game in Northport to Tampa Bay 4-2. Not the start Ian Anderson wanted, walking 3, giving up 1 hit, 1 earned run, and 1 2/3 innings, taking the loss. Eli White had a hit and a walk while starting at second base. He usually plays the outfield, which makes him more versatile if he can play the infield, so that's good. Sandy Leon, a solo homer for Atlanta. Braves at the Orioles this afternoon was canceled because of the weather. Chris Sale looked very sharp in his first outing Saturday in the loss to the Twins. And Truist Park will sport 8 new food stalls in the outfield. which new foods will be unveiled soon. They've scouted the Southeast for new stuff. So we'll see what's coming.
Cool. Okay.
The Mets spent the second most amount of money this offseason, but as of right now, they have the number one injury report. Metropolitans left-hander Sean Manaea has been shut down for a few weeks due to a right oblique strain. Likely will start the season on the injured list. Manaea is projected as the team's number 2 starter. It signed a 3-year, $75 million deal to return to the Mets. It's the second injury to their starting rotation. Right-hander Frankie Montas shut down for 6 to 8 weeks. He has a high-grade lat strain. And the Mets also lost infielder Nick Madrigal after he suffered a fractured left shoulder during Sunday's spring training game against the Nationals.
Wow.
Yeah. College baseball. Alabama came back from an early 10-0 deficit to beat Ohio State on a walk-off 3-run homer, winning the Jacks College Baseball Classic down in Jacksonville. What happened afterwards is what made the news. After the big win, Bama players posed for a group photo as they flipped off the camera, and the caption read, F the O, meaning Ohio State. Then they posted it on Snapchat. Or the Ohio State.
Yeah.
Now at least one of the players is apologizing. Hey, we've all been there. We've all flipped off Ohio State before. Come on. We've done this.
Yeah.
The Hawks fall at home to the Pistons 148-143 yesterday. Trae Young had 38 points and 13 assists. The Heat are in town tonight. I'm sure you're going to be there. Row 2.
I have row 7. I got my date, my girlfriend.
Oh, you pushed it back? Oh, just one tonight. You just bringing one girl tonight?
Well, it's an Asian cheerleader night later, so I got to ease myself
rest
into
up.
it. Yeah,
that's right. Christopher Bell beat out 2 other racers in overtime yesterday in another close NASCAR race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bell led only the final lap, and his Joe Gibbs racing Toyota had a slight edge on the outside when the caution light came on in overtee after a wreck by Josh Berry. Kyle Busch is mincing words, or not mincing words, when he says, quote, nothing is going normal at the end of these races. It's literally just a crash fest now.
Well, makes it
interesting.
Yeah. It is. It's hard for me to follow the races these days. It's hard for me to get back because I don't know.
I still don't know what the rules are. They've been around for a few years. I still don't know what the hell it means. Yeah. Can you win the first 2 stints and then not win the third one and still not win I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I think the problem is when there was a race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, they used to have 2 every year. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about it anymore.
I forgot it was even going on. Yeah.
Last week I told you about Nebraska canceling their home-and-home series with Tennessee in 2026 and 27 in football. Volunteers not happy with that. Now I tell you that the Cornhuskers will have to pay the Vols $1 million American dollars for their inconvenience.
Well, if they got that in the couch, find that behind a cushion.
Yeah, that's true. Georgia head coach Kirby Smart was at a Nike event when someone used the word champion and the name Johnny Manziel in the same sentence.
Uh-oh.
And that seemed to trigger Kirby, who wickedly answered, champion? He ain't a champion. A champion of what? Champion of Fireball.
Oh.
Which is that cinnamon-flavored
drink of
whiskey that everybody was huge on a few years ago, including several friends of mine that made a pastime of it.
That'll hurt you. That could hurt you good.
It seems to me, the name Fireball probably comes out the way it leaves.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Either way, going in and it's a two-way treat. And anyway.
As the Australians say, opens up the sluices at both ends. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Broncos linebackers coach Michael Wilhoit arrested over the weekend after he allegedly assaulted a police officer. Booked on suspicion of second-degree assault of the cop, Wilhoit dropped someone off at the Denver International Airport, and TMZ reports an officer of the Denver police was working a curb assignment in the arrivals level of the port just after 2 p.m. Sunday when he saw Wilhoit's Ford Bronco. It's always a Ford Bronco with these guys. The officer told Wilhoit the vehicle could not be left there. Wilhoit then allegedly told the officer to shut the blank up twice. Wilhoit then allegedly bumped his chest into the officer. When the officer shoved Wilhoit in response, Wilhoit punched the officer with a closed fist and knocked him to the ground. The officer then used a taser on Wilhoit as the coach was trying to get into the vehicle to leave. He got into it anyway and drove away once the effects of the taser wore off.
Holy cow.
Those things ain't, if you're a big dude, those things don't mean nothing.
I don't know.
Famous New York City broadcaster Al Trautwig has died at the age of 68.
Yeah.
No word on cause of death. He retired in 2019 after being diagnosed with cancer. Trautwig had play-by-play for the Rangers and Knicks games for the MSG Network and also appeared in the 1993 John Candy movie cool runnings about the, I think, Jamaican
I
bobsled
remember Al
team.
Troutwig, yeah. He did a lot of Saturday stuff, a lot of Saturday sports coverage. He was everywhere. He was just seemed like a nice guy. Pleasant.
Very good. And Cool Runnings was a good movie.
That was a good movie. Jamaican bobsled team, or what was it? Yeah.
I saw that at someplace off Holcomb Bridge. I saw that thing. It was nice.
Yeah.
If you want to win Super Bowls, maybe you need some bad boys. Guess which NFL team had the most players arrested since 2015?
Well, let's see. How about the Eagles or the Eggless? Or no? How about the Kansas City?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
16 players arrested. God. Seahawks had 13 incarcerated. The Cowboys, Jaguars, Saints, and Jets had 12 players arrested. Not much sainthood there. Falcons are way down the list. Just 5 players put in jail in the last 10 years.
Well, we've got to do better than that. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, that's a long time from a few decades ago when they had a guy stop his car on 85 and get hit by another car, and one guy dipped his banana in cocaine, and that killed him, and there's all kinds of bad stuff.
Wow.
The Lions were the most lawful, only 2 players arrested in the last decade.
I'll be darned. Congratulations.
Well, they're afraid to go out at night.
Convicted felons, football,
Barstool UGA tweets, please don't post a college football version of this list.
I was going to say.
Yeah, we know who's going to win.
I think we're going to top that list pretty quickly.
Today in sports history, February 24th, 1966. In their first view of how MLB likes to screw Atlanta, the Braves signed a kid named Tom Seaver out of Southern Cal. Yet somehow, some obscure rule is found, which basically they void the entire deal, and Seaver will be selected by the Mets in a special draft.
Special draft. Like Elway saying, I'm not going to Oakland or whatever it was. San
if this
Diego
goes the way it's supposed to, there's no miracle Mets of 69.
Yeah, right.
The Braves have a duo at the top of their ace of being Tom Seaver and Phil Niekro, and it's a whole different decade of my youth.
That's right. You're absolutely correct.
And in 2010, a Kansas man who sat 6 rows behind the third base dugout filed a lawsuit against the Royals due to being hit in the eye with a hot dog. The hot dog was thrown by Slugger, with 3 R's, by the way, the team's mascot. Suit seeking $25,000 in damages for injuries caused by the Flying Frank, which includes a detached retina and the development of cataracts in his left eye. Now, the eye injury made it hard to catch up with the flight of the ball. He had to muster his concentration. Don't stop me, I'm on a roll.
Boy, I guess
because I relish this.
Well, he's been dogged his whole life for the very...
very good, sir.
Hey.
Very good.
You got to roll with it, I guess that's all you can...
I just used that one.
Thank you so much. A couple of sports birthdays, Pete Davis. Eddie Murray, famous... he's Baltimore Orioles, I think, for most of his...
Mostly the Orioles and Dodgers, too.
Eddie Murray, 69. He's a Hall of Famer, isn't he?
I believe so. He's one of the greatest switch hitters of all time.
Yeah, that's true. They mentioned Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray, Chipper Jones, Mickey Mantle, those guys.
It's like 4 or 5 they mentioned, and he's always one of them. And Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, he is 48 years old today. 404-741-1230, 537. Waving our flags and have a good team. Oh, by the way, a couple of quick things. Okay, Flounder helped me today because he helped me figure out how to how to be able to post a picture on YouTube, on my YouTube page, because my camera wouldn't let me do it, but it actually would. I just didn't know how to do it. So now I'm like any 9-year-old. Thanks to Flounder, he showed me how I can post pictures, which is kind of cool. But let me ask you this: what the hell is it when somebody says they poke me? In fact, I thought...
They want your attention.
Well, that's what it means.
It's like waving at you. They want your attention. They're poking you to say, hey, I'm here. Why don't you talk to me sometime?
Well, but it almost never happened. I remember this years ago. I think it was more popular than it's...
it's not now.
All of a sudden, this is like the first time in probably a year or a couple, so-and-so poked me. And so I opened up whatever it was, and there's nothing there. It's just, somebody... So I don't know what the hell's the point.
They want attention. They want you to say hi to them.
Well, I'm never going to do that.
You won't even be friends with them. I mean, come on.
That's never going to happen.
You wonder why people won't call you.
Yeah, I know. Let me ask you. Let me mention this too. Honest to goodness, it's got to be a thing in my phone. I've no responsibility for any of this. What I'm about to say. The other day we were talking about Sabrina Carpenter, and now I don't know who I didn't know who she. I mean, I've heard of her name, but I didn't know who she was. Sabrina Carpenter. We mentioned her name because she was it Paul Simon she was singing with, or at the thing, or whatever. But Sabrina Carpenter was in the news. All of a sudden, on my phone this weekend, I get a picture. It says, follow Sabrina Carpenter sitting on a step in teeny little shorts, barefoot, showing her legs and her bare. I mean, I didn't.
They know you.
Now, but every time something like this posts up, when it says show more or show less, I always hit show less, and I think it's a trick. I think they're saying anybody who shows less means we got their attention, so let's do it some more. I mean, I can't believe it. If you mention a girl's name, all of a sudden somebody's got a picture of her without any shoes on and a bare little teeny shorts or a little teeny dresser. I was the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
They don't even need a photo anymore. They just AI it and make one.
I mean, but I don't even get. So what's the point of people following? Okay, in other words, I don't even know what that means. Follow Sabrina Carpenter. So
yeah, she has followers. That means she can charge more for advertisement rates on her page.
But if I followed her, I'd have to pay money to.
No.
Well, then
if you subscribe to her, you may have to pay money. But if you just follow somebody, no.
But what does that mean?
She posts something or something.
So
if
I
she's
can
in the
open up?
news or she posts it, it will go on your feed.
I
and you
got
can see.
Okay, I got you. So I'd have to. If I do that, I would be in her the releases. Well, I don't want to be involved in any of that stuff. Oh God. Anyway, 5:30. I'm easily confused. I'm sorry. I'm just. This is the difference. This is the difference with people and me.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll go over the Commodore 64 and how Radio Shack can help you out with your problem.
Thank you. I'm reel to reel, baby. 5:30. Give her feed and flounder. Look, we'll do a game. Let's do a game. We got a game. We're doing a game next. We're doing a game.
Latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust. Your best new follow on social media is XTRA 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events, and so much more. Follow at XTRA 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Compact outside, the all-electric EQB 250 Plus SUV is big on space, style, and smart ideas. With available seating for 7, a digital voice assistant, and MB navigation with electric intelligence, the EQB is born from a forward-thinking family and built for yours. Get an exceptional offer on the all-electric 2024 EQB 250 Plus SUV.
Just $359 per month for 36 months with $48.53 due at signing.
Exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta Sandy Springs through February 28th, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
A lot of us have a 401k, but many of us don't know what we should do with them as we get closer to retirement. I'm here with Evan Ward of Atlas Retirement. And Evan, what would you personally recommend?
Well, Kevin, what we recommend is when you separate service from your employer or when you turn 59 and a half, you need to look at what your options can be, because within a 401k, you're getting payroll deduction, you're getting a handful of different options, but it's very limited because a 401k is a one-size-fits-all for everybody in your company. Well, what we do when we have options to go outside the 401k, even while you're still employed, you can continue to contribute, but you can move those into different and better options than what you have within your 401k. And so we want to be able to run our 401k x-ray, be able to show you exactly what it is you are doing within your portfolio, and then see what your options are outside of that to improve your circumstance.
Because, Evan, let's be honest, retirement, this is not a one-size-fits-all answer, right? These are individual, personalized plans you're going to put together. Everybody's situation is going to be different, right?
Of course. And so, the 401k gives you a limited set of options because that is what has to be available to the client. But outside of your 401k, you have thousands of options that are often a lot more custom and tailor-made to your personal needs.
If you'd like more details, pick up the phone and call Evan Ward today and the team at Atlas Retirement. They are standing by to answer your questions. 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Pick up that complimentary 401k x-ray, or you can get more details online today. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Are you tired of dealing with drafty, inefficient windows? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows. It's time to upgrade these old windows. Replace them with double-pane, beautiful, energy-efficient windows. Your new windows will help you regulate a perfect temperature throughout your house. Start saving big money on your energy bills and improve the curb appeal of your home. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078.
Atlanta Braves fans, May is Military Appreciation Month, and a great time to show your patriotism by purchasing a VIP table at the Warrior Alliance 4th Annual Veteran Impact Awards and Gala. The event will be held on Thursday, May 22nd at the Coca-Cola Roxy Theater at the Battery, Atlanta, and features dining, live entertainment, and Georgia-based veterans being honored for the significant contributions they are making in our communities. Purchase your VIP table today or make a donation at thewarrioralliance.org.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Even I know the beginning of this one. That's hard to miss. Timber, Feed, and Flounder, 536 with Jimi Hendrix Experience. 1969 played their last British performance at the Royal Albert Hall in London. During the encore of Purple Haze and Wild Thing, the stage was invaded by fans, police, bouncers, floor managers, and pretty much the entire freaking audience. Their last live performance in Britain. Jimi Hendrix, 69. Excuse me, only kiss this guy? Is that what that's?
Yep, that's exactly what he said.
I'll be damned. By the way, our birthday list includes, and I didn't realize this. Actually, I had forgotten our birthday list. Sammy Kershaw has one of my favorite songs of all time, a beautiful little country ditty song. He's 67, Sammy Kershaw. And the song is She Doesn't Know She's Beautiful. Have you ever heard that song? Oh my, it's the prettiest little song. In fact, I'm going to have Flounder put it on my magic music stick when I bring them. I usually bring a list of 5 songs I want to put on my magic music stick. I'd have Flounder do it with my great appreciation. And so I'm going to have Sammy Kershaw, She Doesn't Know She's Beautiful. It's a great little song. It kind of reminds me of that girl I was talking about that I kind of flirted with at the Publix yesterday, or the other day, Saturday, whatever it was, when I talked about Friday. And she had no idea that she was just bouncing around the store, and she was so beautiful and so sparky and happy, and it was just a real beautiful sight, and she had no idea that she had that kind of impact on things. And I love that song. Anyway, Sammy Kershaw, 67. And here we go. Now, we're going to do a game here in a second, but first of all, you have to forgive me, guys. I know this will be a pain in the ass, but this was an important thing, and I mentioned earlier, one of the guys we worked with, one of our news guys, one of the great guys, a terrific fellow, still happy with us around, these days now, Don Dornberg, we used to be our radio guy with us, and he was in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive. He was a dog handler in the Army, and it was on this day in 1968. And again, I'm speaking here, I'm reading to you from History.com about stuff about the Tet Offensive in 1968. We're not making this about me in any way. The major phase of the Tet Offensive happened, a major turning point, as American and South Vietnamese troops on this day in 1968 recaptured the ancient imperial capital city of Hue, H-U-E, from the communist forces. The battles continued, but the last major one was in Hue. The South Vietnamese major city still being attacked. It was the third year of ground fighting troops in Vietnam from 65. The Viet Cong, Lyndon Johnson wanted withdrawal and peace talks. Westmoreland said, I see light end of a tunnel in 1968. But on January 30th of 68, they launched the massive Tet Offensive all across South Vietnam. South Vietnamese soldiers had gone home for the truce of the important holiday. Known for guerrilla tactics, the Cong had never done anything on this scale before. It was unbelievable. Overran the 5 largest cities of South Vietnam. You've probably seen the video when they struck at Saigon, the South Vietnam capital, and the U.S. Embassy there. TV crews were catching it all. In fact, you may have seen the famous video of the impromptu street execution of a Viet Cong rebel by the South Vietnamese military official. I believe he was a police captain. Shot him in the head right there. South Vietnamese fought to control Saigon, cities of Hue, Dalat, Kontum, Quang Tri province fell to the communists. The South Vietnamese flag raised again in Hue on this day. Bombing attacks, civilians dying in the things. It was a major military disaster for the communists. We won. They suffered 10 times more casualties than we did. From the very beginning of the opening days of the offensive, but it crushed American hopes for an imminent end to the war, dealt a fatal blow to the military mission in Vietnam. Johnson came under fire, 200,000 more. General Westmoreland wanted 200,000 more troops to overwhelm the communists. Everything started going crazy. The end of March, Johnson announced the U.S. will begin de-escalation in Vietnam. He's going to try to halt the bombing, and that just didn't work, and the country went nuts, and it was on the imperial city of Hue, and an awful lot of things changed on this day in 1968. Holy mackerel, Andy. 541, 5 o'clock hour, brought to you by our friends at Lee Branch Jewelers. Watches and jewelry affordable. They have a store in Sandy Springs. You can stop by or visit LeeBrant.com, for crying out loud. All right, 541, Pete Davis and Flounder and the Kimmer all here together on your happy Monday. Beautiful weather. Looks like a whole week in the 60s, but don't get, lackadaisical, because we
don't
still
jinx it.
Well, I know we still get winter storms, and I started saying it in March. Anyway, Pete Davis, Flounder, we have a little something. Flounder's on the phone. We have a little something. Oh, there we go. He's got stuff to do. 541 with Pete Davis and Kevin Flounder. What do you got there, Pete Davis? What's going on?
All right. Let's see if you guys can guess.
All right.
What animal?
Yeah.
And it's a mammal. What animal sleeps the longest? Or one of the longest?
Sleeps the longest. I'm like a daily thing we're talking here, or you're talking about hibernation?
How many hours a day?
Well, probably like a tortoise or something. But I was going to
tortoise? What do you say, Flounder? He says tortoise.
What about a whale?
Okay, I said it was a mammal, and you came up with tortoise, Kimmer.
How about a cat? How about a cat?
He said, neither of you are right. You say cat. Okay, Flounder, what's your next guess?
Longest sleeping. Well, it could be something like an anteater or a leaper.
It's a mammal.
An anteater's a mammal.
Just name me a mammal.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
A camel.
No. Just name a mammal.
Sheep. A cow. Cow sleeps longest.
Warm-blooded. Gives live birth. That's a mammal.
Yeah.
We're mammals.
Rabbits. I don't know. Sleeping. They're kind of
no looking
anxious.
it up on your phone.
I don't know. I could never. I'm not good at this.
Just name a mammal.
I can't tell.
You have one in your house. You have one
dog,
of each kind.
A dog and a cat, or dog or a
bear.
Cat. A bear. No,
a bear. All right. Well, I don't know how long a bear sleeps every day, but a cat sleeps 15 hours. So that's a good guess.
What about a sloth?
Yeah.
Now, the sloth isn't on here, so obviously it doesn't sleep a whole long time. Yeah. What animal, and it is not a mammal, sleeps the shortest?
Oh, hummingbird?
No, not a hummingbird.
Ant?
No, not an ant.
Woodpecker?
Name an animal. No, that's an insect.
That's an insect. It's a mammal.
Let's put it this way. It swims.
Oh, well, then a shark. Oh, shark never sleeps.
A shark sleeps 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Has
correct.
to keep moving.
A human, 8 hours. A dog, 13 hours. A cow, 4 hours. An elephant, 2 hours. A tiger, 18 hours. And a bat sleeps 20 hours a day.
Holy cow. Well, yeah, I guess. Wow. You still have bats up at your place?
Yes. I have bats all over the place.
Now, do they make you nervous, or do they bother you, or do they come in your house or anything?
The one lives above the front door.
Yeah, they eat insects.
The mosquitoes.
Right?
Yeah, they don't bother me at all.
Bats are good. Oh, my God. 544. Kim Rapine Flounder. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. I mentioned, I came to another conclusion. I'll make this very brief. Over the weekend, because of something that happened on Friday. Now, this morning, I made cookies again this morning for some reason. I get in these things. So I made cookies, and I brought some into Flounder and a couple of the girls here at work, including Bella and Wiley and Aaron, the sales person. And reminded me of what happened on Friday when I brought cookies in the place. And I was talking, Bella and Wiley, who's one of our ladies here. And again, Amanda's gone, so there's just really the two of them. They're kind of in the same area. They're within like 8 feet of each other when their desks, they're cubbyhole things. So I gave cookies to Bella, and I gave a cookie, and I was talking to Wiley, and I gave the cookies to Wiley and talked about. I said, "Are you a cookie person?" And she said, "Yeah." And then at that moment, here's the scenario. Here's what happened. At that moment, Bella got up from her desk and came over, walking toward to be with me and Wiley as we're talking. And Bella happened to have this beautiful, long, like a feathery boa scarf. It was a thick, beautiful, feathery, beautiful thing wrapped around her like a scarf, a warm to keep scarf. And so I said, "Oh my God, Bella, what a beautiful girl scarf you got there." And she said, "Kimmer." And it was like, it struck me that, I mean, she wasn't really mad, but she was chastising me because I said, "Oh, Bella, look at your pretty little girl scarf," or something like that. You know,
why did you say girl scarf?
Well, maybe I didn't say, but I clearly made a thing like, "Oh, look at your pretty little scarf," or something like that. I mean, it was obviously a happy exclamation on my part. My point is this: I was showing my happiness at being with her and her being part of my life for that moment. And there was something happy and joyous, and I celebrated it with her sharing that moment. To her, being 21 years old or whatever, it was obviously some kind of a creepy threat from a person of the opposite gender. And what's happened to this whole freaking country, everybody's on edge or on side. There's she worried about, and now she wasn't, you know, I'm not saying her personally.
Too much into this.
Well, I'm just saying, just the normal reaction, and nowadays for younger people, because of the differences and thing, is to have a little bit of either, I don't know, suspicion or, you know, curiosity or what's going. You know, it was just unbelievable to me that I felt bad that she was, you know, said that she felt awkward or something because I was expressing joy about seeing. It was unbelievable.
Well, lesson learned.
I know. It's a shame. It's a shame. And these things, I'm an anthropology study. I'm telling you, things I notice and just living long enough, and I don't feel like an old man. I really don't feel like this. So it's kind of hard to adjust to it because I still think I'm her age and your age and Flounder's age. I'm the age of the people I'm reacting to.
I know.
Anyway, 5:47, I'm Blake. Kim Rapine Flounder. So here it's Monday, and oh my God, we got a whole nother week of this. Anyway, 5:47. I haven't had any luck at all.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Hamas needs to be destroyed, wiped off the map. And Donald Trump may just be the president that would support that. Israel has every right to seek the utter destruction of Hamas.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. You want to jump into spring and not worry about your home? Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day. The Trusted Toolbox.
If you're looking for a great new gig, our friends at Atlanta Peach Movers are now hiring. No experience? No problem. Training will be provided through Peach University. And if you have verifiable experience, you can score up to a $500 sign-on bonus. Contact Orlando for more information at 404-640-1300. That's 404-640-1300. And get your new career moving with Atlanta Peach Movers.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. At A Second Chance Bail Bonds, we believe everyone deserves a second chance. We handle bonds from local to federal for any jail in any city. And in most cases, we can have you and your loved one out of jail in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
The Atlanta Braves giveaways for this season are here, and you don't want to miss this lineup. Bobbleheads feature Chris Sale and Marcelo Zuna, presented by Delta, and a throwback bobblehead featuring Chipper Jones from the 2000 All-Star Game, presented by SeatGeek. Fans can also look forward to collectibles like the 1995 World Series replica ring and red home jersey giveaways presented by Coke, and a replica of Truist Park, perfect for your office. Visit Braves.com/promos to purchase your tickets today.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which I is owned.
Well, it's not exactly got a hold of me. Fleetwood Mac there, 1968. It's their debut studio album, Fleetwood Mac, known as Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Their studio debut was a mixture of blues covers. Oh, I don't like it at all. And originals penned by guitarists Peter Green and Jeremy Spencer peaked at number 4 in Britain, stayed there for 37 weeks. It's the only album by Fleetwood Mac not to feature keyboardist and vocalist Christine McVie in any capacity. And it sounds like it. You're horrible without my girl Christine. Going to be singing me home in my car soon. I have 8 songs of theirs, and 4 of them I play every day. Our birthday, Timothy and Flounder, by the way. How's it going? 5:52. Our birthday list. Oh, yeah, Mr. Phone here. Damn thing on that thing there. Our birthday list includes Edward James Olmos, is 78. Stand and Deliver, and known to me as for Miami Vice, the TV series.
Battlestar Galactica.
A lot of different things. Edward James Olmos, 78. Joseph Lieberman, former Connecticut Senator, 83. And let's see, Deborah Jo Rupp from The 70s Show is 74 years old today. And on this day, on this day in history, it was the first time the U.S. House of Representatives votes 11 articles of impeachment against President Andrew Johnson, 9 of which were his removal of Secretary of War Edwin Stanton, violating the Tenure Act. It was the first president to be impeached in American history, 1868. Andrew Johnson at the Civil War, senator from Tennessee, remained loyal to the Union. Abraham Lincoln appointed a military governor of Tennessee, elected vice president of the United States in 64, sworn in as president when Lincoln was assassinated in 65. President Johnson enacted the Reconstruction policy for the defeated South, including amnesty to ex-Confederates. New Southern governments legislated black codes preserving system of slavery in all but its name. They had the Tenure of Office Act was passed over his veto. It prohibited the president from removing officials confirmed by the Senate. And he got rid of Edward Stanton, the Secretary of War. They had a falling out in 1867. Johnson got rid of Stanton once and for all and appointed somebody else, and they impeached him because of it. His first dismissal of Stanton and the trial began in the Senate, and his opponents narrowly failed to achieve the two-thirds majority necessary to convict him. But he was impeached. And on March 13th, the trial began, and he did not face conviction, but he was impeached. Donald Trump had 2 impeachments and was not convicted in either one. 554, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230, almost out of time. Let's see. Elon Musk has said, by tonight at midnight, the workers who have not come up with their weeks of what you have done list could be fired. They're going to assume that you have retired. So I don't know. We'll see about that. Oh my God! And again, they can't stop. A couple of the major stories of the news. If you just joined us, the mainstream media, now it's all cable media, which has become mainstream media. It's all in one big pot now. Donald Trump says MSNBC ought to pay for the unpardonable sin of ruining America, what they've done to America the last several years. Well, Joy Reid got the announcement that she's out. She was bawling and crying and saying she's angry and sad, and she let her team down and everything else. Give me a break. You're a disgrace to America. You're a disgrace to black women. How about that? You're a disgrace to your freaking race. You're a liar and a cheat and a smarmy little racist. You're a Harvard graduate. My God. Yeah, she did her Harvard. She got her degree in something like communication marketing skills or something, doing different kinds of presentations for marketing programs. Fine. Anyway, of course, she's done. Joy Reid's gone. Also, they got rid of Lester Holt. He's out. Nobody is saying anything about anything other than he's gone. He was a racist, liar. All these people, what they've done. And the guy they used to have on Meet the Press, and they finally got rid of him, Chuck Todd. And he's still flying around doing something on podcasts or something or other. 556. Oh, Flounder, just for the fun of it, let's play that DeKalb pastor again. This guy from the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, Dr. Jamal Bryant. They were kind of making fun of him at the White House, saying he better get together with treating people more decently than they have during Black History Month. And so he responded this way. Dr. Jamal Bryant of the New Birth Baptist Church in Stonecrest, DeKalb County. Here's what he thinks about Republicans and conservatives.
I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow tie and grinding, laughing like nothing is funny. But I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door.
Spooks?
These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
By the way, isn't that offensive to black people when he does that phony freaking accent crap? Yeah. I mean, come on. It's
completely offensive.
Don't be throwing me in that briar patch. I mean, it's just offensive.
Brett Fox.
I mean,
and you know what? They're runaway slaves.
Me now.
If they're runaway slaves, where are they running away from? The Democratic plantation. Yeah. That's where.
It's at least it's a good thing that more black leaders. I'm not sure who's a black leader.
And how many black preachers are paid by the DNC to spout that crap that goes against what the parishioners really want and need?
Yeah. Well, and the issue of their tax exempt status if they're working politics.
Take it away.
Yeah, no matter what your affiliation, if it's wrong, no matter what, either way, you shouldn't be doing it. Whether you're conservative, if you're a Baptist preacher or anybody else, I mean, whatever you're doing.
You can talk and preach politics, but you can't be an activist.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be telling people how to vote and condemning, and being one-sided against trying to make sure that people get lies about the other opposition and changing
holding
elections.
meetings and stuff like that. Yeah,
right.
No way.
That's not allowed. 5:58. Oh my goodness, with the Kara, Pete, and Flounder Monday, and beautiful weather all week. And another Flounder's Funnies. Let's think about Stacy and Shannon at Nucky's Hoagies too while we're at it.
Too much anxiety to be a criminal. Like if I had to rob a bank, I'd be so nervous about how loud to say freeze. I feel like I'd walk in all confident and be like, everybody freeze, freeze, hands up. They're like, sir, can we help you? I'm like, shut up. I've got a gun, I'll do it. And some guy's like, hey buddy, line's back there. I'm like, sorry about that. I look down, I forgot my gun. I'm like, this is the worst bank robbery ever. Can't believe I took PTO for this. I finally make it back to the getaway car. They're like, dude, what happened? Where's the money? I'm like, guys, I'm going to be honest, I panicked. I opened a checking account.
That's pretty funny. Who's that there, Flounder?
That is Mr. Mason James.
Oh, mercy. And by the way, for the record, the other day, in fact, it was yesterday, for kicks, I was backing into a place and I decided not to use my automatic backup camera, which I've been using ever since they started inventing them. And I said, I'll just turn around and do it by eye. And see, I was off by about 6 inches. That's what she said, but it's true. Wasn't even close. Relying on technology. Anyway, Kara, Pete, and Flounder, I gotta go. You're killing me. Boys, all over again tomorrow. And Christine, sing me home, baby. You can take me anytime you like. Look out. Herp and a herp. Stand by.
The Morning Extra, every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.